What was it? 300. Welcome to the Out There channel. Live stream 455, I think it was. For some reason, I said 354 yesterday. I lost 100 episodes. I don't know, it happens when you're tired.
Hiding, I'm searching.
Yes, it's all working today on my end. Fingers crossed.
I'm hiding, I'm searching. I'm loving.
We're searching for aliens and love, but we just find hate.
Let fate control your body.
Lots of hate in ufology.
I'm going to show you some.
I'm searching, I'm loving.
Yeah, down. Zoop. -7 level. That's the 7 levels under normal. The hidden secret labs. Hello, good to be back. Looks like it's working alright. We'll get some CPU back in a minute. From the top of the world to the bottom of the world and back again. And anyone in between. So, yeah. That'll do, I suppose. Looks like we're up and running. Another live show with Robert from the UK. Talk about UFO stuff. Have you got stuff planned for us today, or are you just going to talk about various things? Robert, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sure there's something, Paul. You can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I think you're nice and loud. Anyone out there that can't hear him properly, let us know. We'll adjust the volumes. I think he's normal, though. It's me that has to lower. Yeah, it's me that generally has the lower mic because it doesn't have a dB boost on my side of things for some reason. But yeah, I've been revamping my web page. Better type that up there, I guess. The Out There channel WordPress. We've had Patreon back on because turns out Patreon is actually better now. The Out There channel, because they brought in new pay system, pay levels or something, so they don't charge you as much fees, you know, if you get up to a certain level, and it's all PayPal, of course. They haven't shut out them yet. WordPress. Emailed Substar, and they said they'd dropped my limit down to 100 from 150, which was good, but they got a new rule saying you got to have 5 active subscribers, so we're back to the same problem again, that you need 5 active paying subscribers before they'll let you collect the money out. So the money's still sitting there. So it's totally pointless unless they get rid of that stupid rule. I don't even know why they got it.
I still don't understand what you mean by 5 active subscribers.
Well, anyone that's paying me $1 or more a month, I got 5 of them.
Ah, so you mean people who are actually contributing? Okay, via super chat, you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, not super chat, no, to the system.
What you mean is Patreon?
No, I mean Substar.
Oh, well, I don't
Subscribe Star, as they call it, but I don't know why they didn't just do Substar, because it's easier to say. But anyway, that's just me.
How many you got?
zero. Everybody left, remember?
No. So, Jesus.
Yeah. So not even one subscriber is good enough for him. So we're up
So
to
what about Super Chat
355.
money? Will you get that direct?
Yeah, I've got so many options now, though. You can pay me directly by PayPal. You can send
That's the
e-coin,
best way. That's the
e-gold.
best thing to do.
You can
Because
send,
then
what do you
YouTube
call it,
won't take.
crypto.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
crypto
Oh, yeah.
there now, and super chat's back again. Now the strike's been removed, and I'm still getting ad money because I have to put ads on. That's the only money I've got really coming in. Works
Okay.
out probably $1 a week, I guess.
Jeez.
Yeah, so for them to pay out, on Google it's still $100 limit as well. Patreon's the only one that pays out per month, regardless of how much it is, which is how it should be.
Okay.
But they do that because of the banks. The banks are greedy, and they have $10 or $20 fees, right? So if your donations are certainly eaten away, if you've got 20 people paying $1 each, the bank gets all of it first. It's a complicated system surviving online. You got to pay your own ISP, of course. But I've upgraded mine to be maximum speed as well, so there's no glitches. And that's extra $20 a month right there. And then I'm paying BitChute, which is meant to be my new growing channel. And you can see it's the only one that's going up in numbers here. Almost up to 1,500, right? It's slowed down. It should be up to about 2,000 now. It's already overtaken YouTube in number of views in half the time.
Okay.
So it's definitely growing there. But no supporters there. YouTube seem to have all the supporters. They seem to have all the money for some reason that's on YouTube. But then again, YouTube take 30% off the earnings. So if you donate $100, they get $30 of it for doing nothing apart from hosting your live stream and storing your files. It seems a bit excessive, especially when they're making money off ads off you as well. Should be a lower percentage, or a fairer percentage anyway. But they tried to copy Apple. They think, everyone's happy paying Apple 30% for the apps and things. We'll just do the same. But anyway, money makes the world go round. So I don't know what to talk about on money there, but the link there for my website is up there. If you want to donate, go ahead. I haven't got my jar open today, but Super Chat and any OBS tips should go up into that event list there. Now that's another thing. OBS also has its separate bank account, and that also has a limit. I think you can withdraw it maybe earlier, but it's still $10 fee, I think. So I'm not too sure what happens there because I haven't tested it. There is money sitting there, of course. So yeah, I'm stuck really for my money. Apart from a wee bit of I'm just getting a wee bit of super chats and ad money at the moment, that's all. Which so far for super chats and money from Google for this year has been $10. So, $10 a year, it's not going to cut it, is it? Considering I'm paying out a lot more elsewhere all the time. Plus I bought licenses for software and stuff to make it legal.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. Anyway, so what's new in UFO world is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, well, I had a strange thing happen during the week. I think it was Wednesday. Um, Night before, I'd gone to bed at my kind of usual time, about 4 or 5 in the morning. And strange thing happened. I was up at 8 o'clock, wide awake. I thought that was extremely unusual because I was wide awake as well. Now, how often does that happen to me? Well, like never. I'm normally the type that needs like 8, 10 hours sleep minimum. 10 hours on average. I'd say.
Mm,
And I thought,
mm,
why not? And I was just sitting there, and I was making a smoke, and I was thinking something's going to happen. I didn't know what. Just had this feeling something is going to happen. I barely finished my smoke, okay, and there's a knock on the door, and I just had this feeling I was just had this feeling I was going to meet someone that I hadn't seen for years or something like that.
mm,
No, I went to the door, and it's just a guy from Hermes, and he's got a
mm.
parcel. Now, I was expecting a parcel, so didn't think anything of that. Said cheers and all that, closed the door. Then I looked at what I had, and that wasn't the parcel I was expecting. I was expecting like a landline, a telephone, right? But instead, I got this like flat pack. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it there. This is the packaging.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'll just open you
it's
up.
clearly got. Can you see it?
Hang on,
Yeah.
I'll just open you up for full screen here. Hang on,
Yeah,
give it a time.
that'll be better. Yeah,
There you go.
that's better. Yeah, so it's clearly got eBay at the bottom there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's got the address and all that. Unlike a normal eBay package, when I opened it up, there was no seller information or anything on the inside of it. Now, underneath the barcode here, there's a tracking number.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that. I found Hermes, and they said they didn't recognise the tracking number, which was a bit odd. Unless, of course, which I suspect it's recycled package.
As long as you don't have as long as you don't have the CIA, what is it, CI5 Rager for drugs trafficking or
Yeah.
something.
Well, yeah, no. God, no,
You never
nothing
know.
like that.
Someone might set you up. You see, sent you a parcel and said, "Oh, this guy's receiving drugs," and have the cops show up. You
Well,
never know
the
what
only,
nasty
yeah,
things that people in
exactly,
ufology
Paul.
do.
Exactly, Paul. So the funny thing is, now I opened it up, and the worrying part of this is how they found my address, and they had my
Yeah,
middle name. That was another thing. They had my middle name
really.
on the on the envelopes. There's not a heck of
I
a lot
don't
of
think you've
people
ever
know
given
that,
me your middle name either.
but
So having
I do use it on my Facebook page, Paul.
oh,
That's
there
what
you
I'm
go.
having. But here we are. Look, I think somebody's trying to give me a message, Paul.
You know what? It's called Spy Book.
Yeah,
This magazine is revolting.
yeah. I think someone's trying
Mad.
to tell me I'm a bit MAD. Yeah, I know that. Anyway, thanks for the
Yeah.
reminder. But yeah, it's not only that. There was two of them. Here's the other one.
Mm.
Now, talk about
And
now
they're
these.
probably collectibles now, those Mad
Exactly,
magazine.
they're collectors' items. And
Mm.
I looked through used listings on eBay, and you can't get these things in the
No.
UK. They've got to have come from the States.
Plus, they've got a thing in the magazine that you normally fold up, because I remember some guy in the class used to get those every week, and it used to form a different picture by folding it up at the back of the magazine. But it was kind of clever. But
It's
yeah, that's kind of weird. I must admit,
it's
mind
not
you,
more
I
than weird.
thought about you, thinking, "Oh, will Robert ever come back?" And next day you phone me. So there you go. I don't know. It's just as to the synchronicity,
Yeah, that does happen actually.
I don't know. There's a lot of strange and evil people
Yeah, there's a lot of
in
strange people in the
ufology.
UFO community. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Certainly, yeah, it's the way it is. I mean, I'm not offended. I just can't believe them. I mean, you see, the packaging, the postage post and packaging from the States alone is $18, $20.
I know it's
Um,
expensive.
and these magazines per piece, you won't pick them up them less than like a tenner. You know, there's a bit of a funny way of sending a message, whatever the message is supposed to mean. There was 2 people in the States that had my address, and I contacted both of them, and it certainly wasn't them. It didn't sound like them anyway, you know. So yeah, don't get it.
Yeah.
It's not the
Won't
first
worry
time
about
I've
it.
the most. I've had like blow up aliens and that in the past, but they've only been, you know, a couple of quid a shot, and they've been
Yeah,
sent
but did you
from
find out who sent those ones, though, didn't you?
no,
All right.
not one of them. One of them I never know.
Well, it might be the same person then.
Yeah, I don't think so. This has definitely come from the States, in my humble opinion.
Or it may not have. They may have just made it look like it come from somewhere.
Possibly, yeah. You can't rule that out either.
They are men in black, you know.
But it's someone that doesn't care about wasting $50 or more.
Yeah. Some with too much money. There's plenty of those paying goof on and whatnot, remember? If you got too much money, they generally follow the frauds, don't they? So, and they're not really interested in the truth. They're only interested in entertainment, as people keep saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can
I
see,
think what people like about Goofon is he's attacking people all the time, and people think it's a good laugh, don't they?
yeah,
You know, it's okay attacking someone if you tell them. You know, it's okay being critical of someone if you give them the reason as
but
to
not
why they're being
character attacking.
assassination just for the sake of it. No, that doesn't work.
You got to attack the argument, not the person.
Yeah.
You got to find flaws in their debunking or information they're giving out.
Yeah.
Or conclusion, and say, well, here's another conclusion that says the same thing. But you don't call someone boss-eyed or crazy-eyed or, you know, goblin or fatty or, you know, pedo is the common one that was spreading around, which you didn't ever call anyone pedo unless you got
away with stuff like that.
Yeah, unless you got solid evidence, you never ever call anyone pedo because social warriors and all that sort of business. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have like solid case. Like you got court records of people saying, "Yeah, he abused me," and a lot of the pedo cases out there, that doesn't exist. Even you know, it might be their first offence, or it might be just pictures they were looking at.
Yeah.
Claiming that was implanted on them, but there's no one complaining.
He brought up Joe Biden as well, didn't he? I mean, what has Joe Biden got to do with ufology as it stands today?
I know,
he's got absolute interest in the subject, does he?
Yeah, I think he talks about a mixed bag there. You know, ufology is probably only half his show each time, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe that's the sort of appeals. They just people following them are just after entertainment, right? And they're not actually after the truth. You know, it's like an echo chamber. People follow you that like what you say. You know, it's like if you choose the same team as them, and then they're going to follow you, right? Echo chamber. But we don't need that in ufology. You don't want echo chambers in ufology. You want people to keep questioning things and doing their own research and then backing up stuff. But people get lazy. They just copy off each other in ufology, I notice. Instead of just going and looking up the data themselves. You know, they'll just go off one debunker, off another debunker, but really they should
they'd rather listen to opinions than actually do their own research.
They should look at the whole opinions in a balanced way, and then if everything leads to one direction, then obviously it's a hoax or whatever, you know. It'd be like if you took Mick West's word that everything is debunkable, when clearly it isn't. He makes loads of
No.
assumptions. Once you start making assumptions, then that means that you're trying to always fit an agenda, right? What you got to do is follow the facts only. So what is Mick West's assumptions? Well, Mick West's assumptions always have been that it's been heat off the engine that we're seeing on the FLIR images and not the skin craft temperature. So if that's the skin temperature of the craft, that changes the whole scenario. So he's made a lot of assumptions. He's also made assumptions that the military gear cameras are exactly the same as you can buy off the shelf, and they're not. They got their own sort of military firmware, which changes everything, right? In fact, it makes it. They trying to reduce the glare, where he's saying it's all glare, glare. And they're saying no, it's not. The pilots are saying no. You do see a defined object around the glare. So they got some way of reducing it, filtering. Oh, we got some breakthrough there. But yeah. Apart from that, all we can do is sort of complain about people in ufology, which generally is what's happening. And of course, we got Lue at the moment, still on TV at the moment, and they're complaining about him, saying that they've got alien materials. I think that's what he's saying now.
Well, a lot of people are of the opinion you should put up or shut up. I mean, he even started retelling a story that he met when he was with his wife, and he met some guy in a Mexican cafe, and now he's repeating this guy's stories on interviews, and of course he can't verify whether that story is even anything near true. It could be just some madman he bumped into. But yeah, he's knocking it out, and people are taking, this to be a fact. It was about the Navy boat that was disabled in the Pacific, wasn't it? This guy claimed he was a member of the crew, and the whole electronic system apparently went down, and they had to actually dig out an old sextant to navigate with, which is a heck of a story if true, but we don't know. It was just some random guy met in a cafe. So I don't know if it's really healthy to be knocking out stuff like that,
Yeah. There's plenty of people with stories, and Linda Moulton House seems to find them all.
The Antarctica whistleblowers, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's back on that again. I think third phase is pushing that again. Spartan 1 and Spartan 2. Remember I rearranged the letters and found that Spartan actually means entrapment. Let's see, what was it now? NSA trap. NSA trap, it works out if you rearrange the letters. So I thought, yeah, that sounds dead right. These two guys are NSA plants. Again, and Mr. Doty comes to mind. Yeah, so yeah, we did look at this underground base previously, her story. I actually looked at that movie, tried to identify the guys. I actually decloaked their voices. So if you go and watch my live stream, if you haven't seen that one, you can hear what they sound like. So it wasn't really goodly done to protect their identities at all. So I don't know who they are. But anyway, they were talking about this underground base that goes 5 miles underground, and straight away I was thinking that's a bunch of bullshit, because I know it gets very hot as you go down underground, especially a mile underground. You're talking about lots of heat, like 60 degrees Celsius.
You're getting closer to the core, thank you, but I'm sure they'll have some kind of cooling system down there.
Yeah, but the location where that's meant to be located is right in that active volcano sound.
Okay.
That's still
That does sound
going.
unlikely.
Yes, it's unlikely unless it's got molten rock pouring around the outside of the walls. It's possible, I suppose, if you had it specially designed with water pockets to cool the inside down and also redirect the lava flow. But there's not too many materials that can withstand the heat of lava, apart from moles of rock in between. I'm sure that's what they try and do in these volcanic islands at the moment. They try to somehow redirect the lava by building a lava wall of some sort. From if you can somehow get the lava to cool enough without spreading, eventually it can be its own barrier. I think it's like 1500 degrees Celsius for lava, so it's quite hot. I suppose underground bases are possible, but there's a lot of complicatedness. You need a lot of power, you need a lot of refrigeration to keep it cool. You need to also suck down air into the caverns. So yeah, the whole story is a bit washy-washy. It's an active volcano sign, and people have seen UFOs coming out of the ground there, apparently. It's the latest info or something. I just don't believe it. If you have a look at where all the bases are located for the world bases, they're scattered all around the outside of Antarctica, and there'll be more than one country knows what's going on down there if there was some sort of alien base. In fact, there's bases scattered throughout the map. If you have a look, do a Google map of all the bases, and it will show you little dots.
There's always been some UFO activity reported down that way, but is there really any more than any other part of the world? Not necessarily. No, I don't think so. There's one interesting thing that happened a couple of months ago now. I was talking to a friend of mine, Charles. I lived in Vancouver, Canada, and I think it was between 2009 and 2007, something like that. He managed to photograph quite a lot of what we call orbs, and he said they were anything from the size of a golf ball to something much bigger, maybe the size of a small car. And then he
saw that with his eyes? Did he see that with his eyes?
Oh,
Did he see
it on video? He's got it on video. You can
but did he see the size of these orbs with his eyes? Directly?
Yes.
Right. Because, as you know, dust can look like big balls of plasma on photographs and stuff. So
no. Some of these things are really sizable, Paul. You could see with his own eyes, yeah. Oh, it's not like he pointed the camera and then went to check the next day. Nah. I wouldn't trust any of that.
The legit ones I've seen actually illuminate stuff as it passes by.
Yeah.
Apart from that recent CGI one where it comes through the window and stares at the TV and flies into.
Yeah. Let me finish up with this now. So what he done? He put some of this, or he put all of it up, I think, on his YouTube channel. And somebody who claimed to have been from the European Space Agency picked up on it, and they started their conversation. Charles has kept his name hidden ever since, and he was letting go with some information, but he was being extremely careful. He said they've even managed to isolate them in some circumstances, but he said that was then they have learned to some degree what they constitute. But he said the information will never come out. It's too sensitive. It was interesting. So I'll send you it's in a PDF file. I'll send it to you, see what you make of it. But he said some of this activity was focused around the North Pole,
Mm.
Yeah,
Kind of
but
sounds a wee bit like Foo Fighters, if that's the case. I don't know.
yeah, it does. It does actually. But I think he he was more interested in Charles's videos than he was with supplying Charles with any fantastic amount of information. And Charles
Mm.
asked him if he could actually make a statement for him because he was making a documentary, and he
Right.
quietly declined not to do that. But I'll show you that PDF file anyway. It's quite interesting because some of it is quite technical, what he's saying, and I was struggling, but I think Charles was struggling with what he was saying. Maybe
Okay. Is it for my eyes only, or is it for everybody's eyes?
no. It was put. This PDF was posted to my group, so it's in the public domain. So I don't see why you can't see it.
Okay. Probably edit down the side chat then
But yeah, it's
for
not in a
people
format that I can post at the moment.
then.
But I'll
Okay.
get it to you for next week.
And that's sort of stuff you have to set up a Google Drive for, and just
Okay.
upload it to your own Google Drive. If it's not on the web, as a link you can download, and then you can share it to everybody. But I think Google is meant to be changing the security around stuff, so I haven't bothered checking to see if my old links still work. They're beefing up the security on things. Things never stay static with computers. It's always changing. And then causes more problems, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, orbs, I don't know. Haven't really seen any myself.
But if you believe this guy's from the European Space Station, and Charles says he checked him out and he definitely was who he said he was. If you believe them, you'd say yes. There's definitely something going on with them that we don't understand.
Yep.
I wouldn't take it any further than that. I wouldn't like to take it to aliens or whether they're organic in nature or anything like that. But he certainly was. He was telling us that it's super important, as in for study purposes. They really don't know what it is, and it's fascinating. Says that over and over again. How they managed to isolate one, I don't know, but he wouldn't go into that either. See.
Could be something natural, especially near the poles. That's where the magnetic field is different, and the solar winds and all that sort of happening. So I don't know. But yeah, this is why you got to keep looking into this stuff and keep researching it and see if it's repeatable. That's where the science comes into it. And what have we got on the side here? The weather affects your sleeping. Yeah, I suppose it could. Normally if it gets too hot. Normally if it's cold, you normally end up with a deep sleep though. Public domain is good to occasionally look up old stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we've tried to in the past. We've not really found any usefulness there.
I'll tell you what, though. Have you looked at the that recently disclosed that Australian UFO files? There's some stuff in there. Some really good stuff in there.
Don't think so.
No.
What was the link to it?
I know I've bookmarked it, but God only knows where it is.
And when did it come out?
I don't think it was that long ago,
Yeah, so the same as the New Zealand release.
57 pages. in
That's not
particular,
much.
57 pages. No, I know, but they are full of really good stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, it is a big continent. 57
Yeah,
pages doesn't sound big enough, you know. So
yeah.
what are they holding back on? But anyway,
They even had an article on alien weapons, believe it or not.
what's it called? Australian X-Files, is it?
It's the Australian National Archive. You just got to find those 57 pages. I've got the shortcut to find to get to the damn thing here somewhere, but I didn't have it ready for tonight, so I didn't think this was going to come up. Guy on my Facebook page, Chet Denbeck, he's been through them all, and he's put together like several really good articles.
NAAgovernment.au. Could that be the one? National Archives, Australian holds. Is that the one?
Shit.
Aborigine and Torres Strait Islanders should be aware that the National Archives. No, it's gone. I didn't have time to read. I'm a slow reader. Between 1916 and 1926, and between 1939 and 1971, immigrants to Australia who were not British subjects has registration placed on them. What's that got to do with UFOs?
Yeah, let's have a look what you're looking.
Well, it's obviously the right location, but it says alien up here. Obviously, it's not that kind of alien. So it's declassified UAPS will open way. Okay, let's see what that comes up with. I think it's the next one down, actually. Who's the guy?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with it.
Here we go, we got a balloon. Or something going on there. A little dot in the sky. I hate dots. Of course, a photograph is no good. We want to see how it's moving with the air current, if it's going in the right direction for the air currents. And as you know, C can have the wind coming in towards you, and only 500 feet up it can be going in the opposite direction. So that sort of confuses people. Let's see, is this the one? National Intelligence ODNI released its much preliminary assessment. We know about that. How about Australia?
I found it. Here we go. National Archives of Australia. I might have sent you on a wild goose chase there. Sorry. It's actually it's only 58 pages. Yeah, 158. So this is very easy to search as well. An hour and a half, and you'll get through all this. Right, I'm going to leave it to side chat, okay?
No.
If I can, if it'll let me do it.
Released June. That's UK ones. It's not Australia.
Yeah. I posted it. All you have to do is click on it now. That's if you can see it. I can see it.
We can't see it.
You're kidding me.
I can't see it popping up here.
Let's have a look at what you're looking at. No, it's not there either. Damn.
Nationalarchives.gov.uk. This one.
What I can do is send it to Discord. Yeah?
Yep. I don't know why you can't post it. You
It's not
right-click
letting
and
me
post.
use anything with a link, Paul.
If you right-click on it and go paste as plain text, it generally works, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that one there.
Well, let me try that then. Okay, right-click. Copy. And then paste as plain text.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's see if that's worked.
Popping up.
Is it there?
Can't see it. You
Well,
did
there you
push
go.
enter,
See, it
didn't
didn't
you?
work. Of course
Did it
I
say
did.
error? No, it doesn't
No,
say
it
error
said
message
it.
in red.
I can see it. I can clearly see it.
Can you type another message underneath the links you sent to see if that pops up?
Yeah, sure.
Google always changing the rules.
Yeah.
Make Rob mad.
Yeah. There you go. I've just typed again now. Can you see that?
Yep, can see that one. Now, Discord it is then.
Discord it is. It's actually worth a few minutes, because there's amazing stuff in there.
Maybe I can't post the links. You never know. Normally just paste as text normally works, so let's see, I'll paste it as text. I'm not sure if it's still clickable though, is it? Has it come up? Yep, comes up. Is it still clickable? Yep, looks like it. So,
Why on earth did it work for you, but it didn't for me?
I don't know.
Sure, I'm still shadow banned or something on that. There you go. There we are. That's it. It's dead easy to search now. You just go next.
Alright, we haven't made you a moderator. Maybe that will fix it. Let's try that. That should give you more rights now. Okay, see if you can post a link now. Just an experiment.
Yeah, okay, let me try.
So what do we got here? It looks pretty yucky. Retain permanently.
Yeah, you have to keep clicking until you get to the juicy stuff.
Whereabouts?
What do you mean? You can easily see what you click from. Yeah, it can be a bit slow actually. Loading.
There we go. So it's these sort of grey coloured pages, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yucky. Has someone converted to normal text?
Yeah.
You can't
to
see
go
it. Someone needs to OCR it so you can scan it for keywords.
You don't really need to. You can go through the lot, as I said, in about an hour and a half. As long as your computer's running quick enough to load the pages quickly.
I'm not sure. I thought I clicked on it, but here we go.
You don't. That's pointless. You're not going to read that. It's illegible.
How do we scroll up on it though? You got to grab it. I see.
You grab it. Yeah.
What's happened now? Yeah, Microsoft Edge might not be the best thing for it.
No, maybe not.
It's gone blue. Blue. Yeah, there we go. No. Oh, it's handwritten. See, that's another thing that's also a problem now. Reading people's handwriting.
I don't think there's anything in there for about the first 12, 15 pages, something like that.
Here we go.
Yeah, you've got it on full screen. Close that down, nobody can see it.
Full screen.
No. I mean, you've got the document blown up, but you need to do that, don't you? Because you can't see otherwise.
And that's the biggest I can get it. But if I do it that, you can't read it. Unless I zoom in
Yeah,
that way.
that's what I was doing, you see.
But even that's not very good.
No, that's poor.
What's that say? The summer of 1952. Ah, wasn't that a good year for UFOs?
That was the year of the Washington sightings, wasn't it?
Yep,
When they
it does
came
say
back
Washington DC.
over the White House for 2 consecutive weeks.
Mm.
It's the one that caused a hell of a stir, yeah.
So this is on Australia, is it? Why are they talking about Washington if it's Australia?
Because you can, by these documents, you can clearly see, yeah, that what they were doing, they were using the American policy to debunk UFOs. They were basically towing the American line.
Yeah. Oh, you can post links now.
Yeah,
It worked.
that's all it
I
was.
see that.
I didn't have
Yeah,
permissions.
not enough permissions, but they don't have like a permission to approve for posting links. They need another permission for it. You know, because obviously you're not going to allow spammers to spam the site, are you?
No.
Okay, so you can now step through it, and it's working all right.
Yeah.
And the control of public awareness.
Yeah, and it mentions JANAP 146 there. Does anyone remember that notorious bloody act? That's where, if anybody spoke up to the press or even to your family about a UFO event that you've seen on military service, you'd be looking at 10 years in jail and or a $10,000 fine. Well, that's enough to put anybody off reporting a UFO event, isn't it? Oh, it actually mentions it there.
Yeah, it
$10,000
does.
fine, yeah.
Yeah,
10
it
year
does.
jail, spelt in the old style there.
Yeah, that's too. That's the UK spelling of it, though. But
Yeah,
prison and jail, prison and jail, different in America. Jail's normally temporary holders of up to 60 days, I think it is. And prison is for long-term offenders over in America. So they actually separate it out. Well, prison, jail all means the same in my country, the same as your country in Australia. So.
Okay. Yeah, just before, JANAP actually stood for Joint Army Navy Air Force Publication. So it covered all the forces across the board. So nobody could speak out about UFOs. And this came in after the Washington sightings that caused all that fuss, you see. So they brought JANAP 146 in to stop all this UFO stuff getting out into the public domain, and it was largely.
Well, I think it's more to stop military people speaking out.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, but do you know it actually extended? It was supposed to extend to commercial pilots and even fishermen. That was a bit harsh. At least that's what I read in one report anyway.
Loose lips sink ships. Okay.
Yeah. It shows just how damn seriously they took it at the time, didn't they? And still do. No question.
$435. Doubtful, good, excellent. Unknowns, insufficient information. Of course, that percentage wouldn't be up with the poor. Poor is 25%, is it? 21%. What's it mean by that, though? Insufficient.
But between the good and the excellent sightings, that's still a considerable amount.
Indeed. Project Blue Book. I don't know, I can see why they released these. These are pretty old though.
There's some stuff in here. Yeah, they are. They are. But
Let's just keep on going through.
to get these. You know,
The Coronado Project.
also known as the Condon Committee.
Okay.
That's
Dr.
the one
Condon.
that closed down Project Blue Book in 1969. It ran for 2 years.
Yep. So when they're closing down the next one, what's it called now? I keep forgetting the name of it.
Well,
not ATIP. It's called something else now.
no, not the well, it's the UAP task force at the moment. But it's
Is it?
more
I thought they
likely
changed it to.
They're going to change it. Yeah, they're going to give it a new face. Yes, and a permanent office with more funding and more staffing.
Yeah, of course.
But you know what? That was big news, but no one really blinked an eyelid because of that first UAP task force report when they told us next to nothing.
They got it sort of documented here.
Yeah, well, that's the Twining memo, the famous Twining memo, where he famously states the preliminary conclusions by the NSC were that the phenomena was real and not visionary or fictitious. Famous words.
Indeed. Nothing to see here, folks. Move on. And keep going. And just look at random ones. What else we got?
Nothing much there.
Yeah.
I say that, don't get me wrong, every page is worth examining, you know. There's just some pages that are a bit more sensational than others.
Yeah.
Just haven't got to them yet. Keep going. Yeah, this is just starts now to look at a few reports which just don't go into enough detail, really, to...
Yeah.
They were Australian reports, by the way. And the Australians were extremely mingy in actually classifying anything as unknown. They'd explain everything away the best they could unless they were absolutely stuck in a hole.
Carfeld.
Notes of ignition failure. So they studied this, see. We all know that a UFO in close proximity to a vehicle generally stalls the engine. They've done a study into this.
And radio blacked out. Okay. Well, it sounds like the whole battery blacked out then, but not diesel engine. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there has been some occurrences of diesel engines being stopped. One famously in Vietnam when it shut down all the diesel generators, but we don't have very good documentation for that case.
Right. I wonder how it'll go in the future with flying cars if a UFO comes up to them and saps your batteries. Yeah, obviously They don't seem to affect jets. Apparently, the jet engines, which are also kerosene. You get all these UFO channels putting up, here's a UFO flying past a jet. Obviously, it's not, because it's not stalling the engines.
There have been cases where the engine started coughing numerous occasions when that's happened.
Yeah, but that normally gets reported.
Happened in the Valentich case, 1978, wasn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't a jet engine though. That was a prop plane, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was a little Cessna.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've heard any jet planes losing the engines. Even the Iranian one didn't lose the engine, did it? It just lost all the fly-by-wire stuff.
All the electrical
Electronics.
stuff went dead.
Yeah, not
But it
the
was
actual
still fly,
engine.
yeah. It was still able to fly, but it was flying blind. It had no instrumentation. Until the UFO left the vicinity, then all the instrumentation came back online, including the weapon systems.
Have we got a page number here?
At that time, the UFO was out of the way.
31. Yeah. It may click a wee bit when I'm using the magnifier here because it uses more CPU.
Yeah, it will do, yeah. It's going through them quite quickly.
Yeah, we're up to 30, 40 pages now.
Keep going until these reports are done.
Hey, we got a different colour. Green. Green is good, is it?
What's that actually say at the top of the head in there?
In fact, I thought they did use colour paper to make it more harder to photocopy it. I think green was one of the colours because the lasers were green.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just wonder if they made this one green on that purpose. Because it comes out darker, you see, and you can only duplicate it so many times before it's you can't read it. There's something clever like that, something to do with the green colour. But I can't read it. It's pretty blurry. But I have to zoom in even more. And even that doesn't sort of help much. Not with my eyes, anyway.
That's not easy to read at all.
You can see that's why they do it with the green, you see. White obviously is the best colour. That one came out alright. But you can see researchers spent hours and hours going through all this and releases. You can see it could take them many years to go through it all. And that's why if you could scan it in, you can see even we have trouble with human brain to read it. How a computer will cope, scan it, and then once it's scanned in, you can then sort of search it for keywords, and then Bob's your uncle, right? So if you wanted to find how many reports we're talking about just stalled car or battery, you better search on those keywords. Now these ones might be the more interesting ones coming in now. And they're probably harder to read. What have we got?
Yeah, that's talking about the Colorado study again.
Yeah. I was just seeing weird Australian stuff kicks in. Oh, we got a yellow page this time.
Don't know what page you'll be on.
Must be getting near the end. It's really hard to read that one too. Yeah, it's not the clearest. You could apply some filters to it to bring it out. You see. So
yeah, you really got to do this yourself at home, unfortunately.
43 we're up to.
Yeah.
Defi has been told by GP Captain Davis that he does not intend to investigate the UFO report, as he could do nothing more
2
than
seconds.
the police. So the police can do as much as he can. Hey, well, all the radar data. Oh, look at that colour. Although it's still readable. Yeah, I can't. Doesn't sort of get me excited so far. I'm not sure about the people out there watching. Maybe there's a couple good reports in here, I don't know. But we haven't stumbled across them. So much easier now when people enter it into a database, you know, and then it's formatted on a map, like we get, where is it? UFO Stalker, right? That's a lot better format, and you get the images and all that straight up. And there's a hexagon star balloon, 5-pointed star balloon crossing the moon. But anyway, so much easier to do that than piles and piles of reports. And then just click on one of them and away you go.
Of course, you've got to do further research to get the detail, haven't you?
Yeah, well, this is just like a summary, isn't it? Bright light,
Yeah, I
move,
know. It's,
direction, hovering. So, there's dots in the sky going, see. A bright light moving in the sky could be a LED balloon, a plane,
yes,
all that sort of business.
I think you need membership on MUFON to get the detailed reports, don't you?
Normally I go to just the photograph ones and just click on the photograph and just have a look. What was that? Hello guest. Login, register. Where's the photograph thing gone? Map. Have they changed it? Hope not. They might have done. Where's the photographs? Gallery. They changed the colour of it. It used to be blue, I think. So, and of course this takes a wee while to come down each page, and it doesn't remember what page you're on. But most of them stupid, stupid ones. Because people don't watch us to work out how to eliminate things with apps and using a decent camera to start with. And we've got a dot in the sky. Here we go. We've got something going on here.
It's a balloon.
Yeah, could be a bird. It's fairly high up there.
Jeez. What are you supposed to do with that? 1 pixel?
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to really zoom it. I suppose they've done it here. And it's still not the best. Looks to me like a solar balloon. The little triangle.
Yeah, it doesn't look to have solid defined edges, does it?
Well, it just has the character shape of a solar balloon. The light's reflecting off the top there. It's rotated. It could be just a regular balloon. It's a bit hard to tell. I was trying to zoom in and that was happening. So there's only 2 pictures on that one. But there, yeah, I haven't been through the MUFON stuff for a while, but it's all been always a letdown. We've got these dots in the sky. It's never really good because people just use shit cameras and they're using the camera wrong here. Portrait again.
It makes me laugh though that like Neil deGrasse Tyson goes on about like there's 4 billion super duper cameras on everybody's phone these days. The fact is those phone cameras are just not useless, but if you've got something that's distant in the sky, then they're not good as a capture device, really.
See, the only thing you can do
is zoom in.
The only thing you can do with this one here is to use the apps to rule out whether it's a satellite, planet, whatever, and also plane.
People don't think to do that even.
No, because they're not trained to, because they watch all these UFO channels that don't show.
We had a rocket launch earlier this week, didn't we?
From China.
No, it was an Atlas 10 missile. It was putting up one of Elon Musk's satellites. Yeah. It was from Vandenberg Air Force Base. Well, it was visible in the UK over the Irish Sea.
Right. I thought that was China.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was. No, it wasn't China. It was definitely left from Vandenberg missile base. Yeah. It was Monday or Tuesday of this week. I know an astronomer. Look, he's an amateur astronomer. Okay, he lives on Anglesey, and he sent me 12 photos, and it was one of them. When the sun's just below the horizon, and the missile launch gives off that lovely plume effect of gases around it, and which is really nice to look at. But it's straight away, or you should. It's a missile. When I told him, that's the one, Atlas 5, yeah. Great strange lights in the sky. And once I told him what it was, he's not talked to me since.
6 days ago.
6 days ago, that's the one. Atlas 5, my mistake, I said it was Atlas 10.
Was it Chinese owned? Out of control Chinese rockets?
Think so. You'll get the details if you click on it there.
Long March was launched from Beijing Space Launch Center on the 29th of April.
Yeah, that's the date's wrong on that one, Paul. I'm talking about the one this week, that one 6 days ago.
Right, here we go. Irresponsible. NASA chides. I've never heard of that word before. Chides? China as rocket debris lands in...
Chides just means to tell off.
Yeah, I never heard of the word before. The debris lands in Indian Ocean.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
So that was the 2 rocket things this week then, I think. Chinese latest rocket launch fails to get to orbit. So it was that coming down, and also this Atlas 5 one. Let's have a look at that one. But you saw how easy it was to search online. It only took me a few seconds.
Yeah.
And you can always tell that it's a rocket. So it's always got a V contrail. And that's where the symbol for NASA comes through with the red symbol they have on their logo.
Okay, I didn't know that myself.
Yeah, it's always the shape of the contrail, right? Everyone was always using Illuminati and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If you look at the NASA logo, it's always shaped in the V, which is where you get the cone shape from rockets. But there's all sorts of conspiracies about the name of it, right? So this logo, you got the V.
Okay.
And then you got the orbit. But sometimes they turn the A's into V's as well, which is kind of clever, I thought. Let's see if we've got images. They change variations of it. But that's their standard logo, right? And then you get variations. This one here, with the upside down V, which is really A, and a contrail. And then you get other people that are associated with NASA having the same. Well, actually, you find a lot of space ones all have that same upside down V on their logos. V contrail on rocket logos. Let's sort of brought up contrails instead. Here's one here, aviation. What's that one say? What country? National aviation. So he's got a contrail from the two jets. So it's not just rockets as well. China logo. Space logo. And you got, see, there you go, they got the Star Trek one. Star Trek's based on the same thing.
Okay.
Upside down. See? China got the same thing. They're trying variations here. And then you got the Russian ones. Let's just get that one up. And there you go, you got the upside down V again, the contrail. And then you got the Apollo, logo from America. It's also the contrail. And you might remember Socorro also had upside down one. But we won't go into that because it causes a bit of debate.
Yeah. Mute points.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see a lot of logos are all pretty much the same. Yeah, so anyone that's promoting that doesn't know that's a rocket launch. Way out of touch.
No, but you would think that, you'd think that a UFO guy would be a bit slower to click onto that than an amateur astronomer. You'd think that an amateur astronomer would know exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And those pictures, that one there especially, were just like the ones that he sent me.
Yeah. And of course, Elon Musk's one is a wee bit stranger with the sperm contrail. I was talking about the sperm thing. It was related to another NASA
still should be
footage.
recognized.
Yeah, you got the rocket contrail. So I'll just try that and spelled it wrong.
Take the E out.
Images. Okay. Be lots of explosions. You got this one here, the famous sperm one.
Yeah.
But the rocket's way at the front here.
Yeah.
But you can see how much the gas expands. And of course, SpaceX use kerosene for their rocket fuel. Same as planes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the carbon gives it more explosive content for less volume. Else you'd have to have like 4 times the amount of hydrogen and oxygen with you. So his puts out a lot of ozone killing gases, right, every launch. No one seems to care about that. Probably equivalent to all the planes in the sky in one launch. It's sort of been covered up a wee bit, I guess. There's the contrail business again. Remember, Third Face was on there saying, "Oh, what is it, guys? We've never seen this before." And they knew there was a SpaceX launch happening. But you can see it's still the contrail, right? You still got the contrail, and the actual main ship here is the contrail. But he's still filming, expanding V on the angle here. So that's what they got to do. You notice how they don't launch the rockets directly upwards. It always goes up in an angle. Because it's got to move in the direction of the Earth, isn't it? And get an escape velocity, as they call it. So they keep going around until it's fast enough to break orbit and gravity. And the only way, as you know, is you keep accelerating, it gets faster and faster. So you get to the certain speed where it sort of can break gravity. You can only do that by firing it into a curve. But yeah, all these different contrails. But there was one I did previously from NASA, STS-80, where they filmed that looked like a sperm going through the atmosphere, but actually turns out it was actually heading towards the space shuttle. It was going vertically upwards, even though it didn't look like it in the photograph. And it wasn't actually a sperm, it was actually like a fork on the end. And so the experts said it's more likely to be Sprite lightning that was coming from a lightning cell into space. And of course, this makes you wonder, did the space shuttle somehow trigger it, because it was right over the orbit and it was heading towards it. It's like a magnet. So anyway, we never really found anything exciting there. But you might have to read all that hard print, which is really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's not the sort of thing I'd do. It'd drive me crazy. But it looks like they've got a picture here. Which
I went through it all. It only took one evening. You know, it's not that bad. But of course, doing it here now.
That would do my eyes in after a few pages. So it would just do my head in.
Oh yeah, okay. That was quite interesting. I don't know. You know, the UFO Jesus guy.
That's the end. Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
Yep, I'm still here.
Yeah. That UFO Jesus, Ryan Roberts, his actual name is. He done a live the other day. I don't normally listen too seriously to his stuff, but he was saying that he has awful sleep problems, and he's finding it difficult to hold it together to do the lives, and can't focus for long, can't read for more than a couple of minutes, and he blames it on his eyesight, but just on chronic sleep and insomnia issues, insomnia.
Yeah, eyesight can cause a problem. There he is there. I used to watch him because he was funny, but that's about any reason.
He wasn't talking about his eyesight. He was talking about difficulties with insomnia and how it affects his memory and his ability to process information during the day, which is really quite honest.
Yeah, it certainly does affect you. If you don't get a good night's sleep.
You do need to be studying a lot of the stuff that's coming forward, so that's
takes me a while to switch off my brain. to get to sleep deeply, and then once I'm deep, then I have these strange dreams that sort of wake you up again. It's crazy dreams. Sometimes, colourful, crazy dreams with people that you never met before, and it's just kind of crazy that your mind can actually bring up that sort of stuff. And you're aware of it too. You think, what the hell am I dreaming here? And do I wake up? Do I go to the toilet? Do I just keep on going? And you sort of go back into the cycle where you cycle through the same dream all the time. It seems to go around in a loop. Makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's like you are seeing through someone else's eyes. Again, I think it's all got some science possibilities to it all, where some of us can connect into the information layer, as I call it, which is like spooky action at a distance. That all information can be stored deep into atoms, and some of us can actually access it. And it could be like past memories of people that have died, where they had the atom in their body, and it just gets recycled, right? So it keeps building up, and the information keeps building up. If you get more and more atoms from other people, because remember, there's 5 million atoms on a pinhead. So how many atoms in a human body? This is actually fine.
But when you look at the actual solid matter, it's not that much at all.
How many atoms in a human brain? That would be a good one. Let's see if anything knows. How many atoms, trillions, in a brain? I'll just say human brain. I can type it on the side here. Okay, does it tell us? Typical human brain of 70 a physical human of 70 kg. There are almost 7 to the power of 10 to the 27 atoms. That's a 7 followed by 27 zeros. Another way of saying it, 7 billion atoms. Wow. No, it's actually got to be more than that, isn't it? Billion is what? 9 zeros? 9. Oh no, that's right. 27. There you go. Billion. Well, now you know that's embedded in your brain now. Almost 2/3 is hydrogen, 1/4 is oxygen, and 1/10 is carbon. Like I said, and they're common elements in the universe, right? So this to say that just a few of those atoms store your life knowledge, trillions of bits of information deep inside an atom, and you get burnt up, crisped up, or buried underground. And it goes into a tree root eventually, or grass, and then breaks off that oxygen bond that was in the brain that's got the information, or the hydrogen, and it gets into the environment again. And somehow the mother of a newborn baby breathes it in, and it goes into the kid's brain, and suddenly they got reincarnation visions until the brain adjusts itself. So yeah, we still don't know how brains work. They talk about neurons, but I don't know. I think there's a lot more going on there. Because there's a built-in knowledge that's passed on through DNA, so it's got to be in the atoms itself rather than neurons, right? How many neurons in brain? Oh well, in human brain. 86 billion. So atoms was 7 billion. There's not so many neurons, you see what I mean? But the neurons is probably what interfaces to the information stored within the atoms. in some people somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I think somehow these psychics can work as well, and the mediums. You know, the mediums that seem to pull out people's name out of thin air and they're not actually cheating. There's cold readers, and then there's actually people that can really do it. And I think there's only a few out there that can really do it, where they just hook into that energy level of information storage, which we probably would call dark matter and dark energy, right? And that's where your spooky action at a distance comes into. So I reckon there's got to be some science to it. So
Oh yeah.
rather than being what do you call it, fringe science, it's just a way you got to think about things. You got to think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been some fringe scientists and DNA that have said similar things in the past, and they've had their careers destroyed by mainstream scientists. So there's probably quite a few fringe scientists blacklist out there now. Fringe scientist blacklist. Let's see what comes up. Oh, the blacklist wiki. What's that one? Clark Middleton.
Oh, that's something I want to talk about as well when you do finish off with this.
Fringe Science Channel to re-air all the 5 seasons. I don't know. Oh, right, The Fringe. That was a good sci-fi. Yeah, I still got it anyway. Was Debris The Fringe? See, nothing's coming up apart from the TV series original. There was a guy, I can't remember what his name is, and there was a TV series, a documentary series from BBC called Heretics. Not sure if it's available to be watched, but it's well worth having a watch. Heretics. Heresy. No. 20 minutes. The Last Heretic. Not that one. It hasn't come up. I thought it would have come up, but maybe it's been suppressed. But anyway, one of them was about the DNA scientists saying that he studied all the different life out there, and there's no way these creatures here and here know how to do this, because they're not actually taught by the parents. So where they get the information from, and he was the one that was suggesting that the information is stored in atoms somehow. And I agree with the guy. Because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Apart from that there's actually some information that can be tapped into, especially by early brains. And somehow we lose that ability. Just imagine, I suppose it would make sense to lose it because you're going crazy otherwise. So you could seeing back 20 past lives of people. That would drive you insane. You'd have nightmares, and somehow you need to block that out. And only somehow encode your information back into the atom. Anyway, that's the sort of thing I think about all the time, this crazy stuff. But anyway, yep, carry on. What do you want to say?
Oh, yes. I forgot all about this. I only watched it last night. Yeah, it was UFO Classified with Erica Lukes. And they had the second half. Can you hear me?
I'm trying to get you full screen. There we go.
Okay. Right. Yeah, sure. UFO Classified.
What's happened? I didn't touch it. I didn't do it. Men in Black did it. I don't know. Something like it was like a delayed click.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's all right now. Just carry on.
I yeah. I started again. It was UFO Classified with Eric Lukes, and
Yeah,
she had a guest on, quite interesting guest, abductee called Peter Coovey. Now he had one very interesting tale to tell. He was kind of lifelong experiencer kind of thing. There was one event where he had seemingly sex with two female aliens.
well, he's lucky.
Um, I was thinking, man, am I believing this or not? I don't really know. But up until then, he'd sounded really credible, you see. So I
Mm.
thought, okay, I'm going to listen on. Anyway, he had this really respected UFO researcher called Bill Chalker on with him. Now, he investigated the case. Now, the thing is, with this case, it actually had physical evidence. He actually had two hairs from the head of one of these aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And just as he described it in the experience, they were. And let me tell you another thing about it. He said this female alien straddled him, okay, while he was in bed. He was helpless to do anything, like he was going to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
anything
yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, whatever. Yeah. And he said he actually sat up, but he said that it was only his physical body that sat up to meet her, if you like, and he could see the back. He could see his body, the back of his body. Yet he could see
Yeah.
this alien transparently through his own body. Then his own physical body came and caught up, and I thought that was like an interesting detail. So okay, so I'm listening, and then I guess this bit with the two. I was going to say human hairs, should I say alien hairs? So
Mm.
he showed these to Bill Chalker, who was kind of rolling his eyes at the time, thinking, okay, we'll get them tested. We'll pay for the tests, and he was expecting it to come out as something completely mundane. Well, it never. The hairs on the head have two different DNA in them, both human DNA, with the same hair, two sets of DNA. And not only
It's
that, it was a
inside the
blonde
hair.
hair. It was a blonde hair, but it was showing the DNA should have been of somebody of darker origin. So either we've got peroxide blonde aliens or something else is going on. I
Mm.
really don't have a clue. Obviously, I'd love to see those lab results myself, but I don't
Can you
know.
have
Who
can you
knows?
have multiple DNA inside in a hair?
No, that's apparently not. And the lab was quite excited about all this. But it's not often you get an abduction case that actually has physical evidence.
Hmm. Let's just have a look. Um, let's try. Can you have multiple DNA found in here?
And the thing is, DNA should be the same, whether it's taken from your saliva, whether it's taken from the scraping from your skin. It should always come back as the same DNA.
Okay, so it's only if the root's attached that you can get DNA from it.
Yeah. Well, no, they said that they got one set of DNA from the hair itself and another from the roots.
Okay.
Okay, I see what you mean.
They're saying you can't get it from the rest of it, only the root.
Well, what's the excitement then, if that's the case? I don't know.
Unless it's different DNA in two different blonde hairs. Is that what you mean? That would be strange. Unless it's from two different people.
Yeah,
Could be from two
I don't
different
know.
people, you see.
I don't know.
Micro. What's it say? But dead cells that make up the hair do contain mitochondrial DNA. So if a murder victim is found and hair from the perpetrator is present, the mtDNA from his hair can be matched to a person that the person and perpetrator must share a common maternal lineage. So basically you can link it through the parents is what they're saying there, I think.
Yeah, I'd have to actually find the part where, which could be
You're gonna
difficult.
have to find that report on that DNA now, because it sounds a wee bit strange. Where they took the samples from two different hairs,
If I can turn on subtitles for it.
but that's only taken as word that the two blonde hairs are from the same girl, of course. If that's the case, if I'm understanding it right, and of course they must have taken it from the root, is what they're saying here.
Yeah.
Anyway, catch up on the side chat here for a while.
Hold on a minute. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll mute myself just for 5 minutes, see if I can find it, okay?
The actual sequence of DNA on each of the chromosomes is unique due to part 2 recombinations. Yeah, but they're not saying it's actually on the two parts though. That's kind of strange. You sit back and listen and only comment when you have to. What else we got? SpaceX work on methane LOX. I think you'll find it's kerosene. But they got different rockets now. The early ones were kerosene. Let's have a look. I have looked into the past a few years back. SpaceX rockets use kerosene. That's not how you spell it, is it?
Okay, but yeah, found it when you need it.
Yeah, let's see. Uses liquid engines. Propellant is generated thrust. Kerosene, powered by kerosene. See, so what are you telling me, Dan? The rocket fuel is mixed with a oxidizer, maybe that's what you're talking about, in the combustion chamber where the chemical reacts. So the oxidizer is normally oxygen, but they do have other more explosive versions, like peroxide, and so that's probably what you're saying there, I think. Let's have a look. Methane oxide, there you go, that's got to be the oxidizer, strictly to support the company Mars technology. Well, they may have changed it. Okay. SpaceX rockets, Mars. What's that one called? It's got a special name for that rocket though, isn't it? Mars rocket. I can't remember what it's called now. Mission to Mars. Starship. That's it. Falcon 9 rockets are the ones that use kerosene. So whether this one does, I don't know. But they've got a special chart of reactions and how much thrust. And I found it, and they put it up on a past live show if you want to go and find it. But whether they tell you all the inside secrets, I don't want to blab too much what they're doing because they're always competing with China and Russia. So they're not going to tell you everything. Looks. See what it comes up with. Liquid oxygen, there you go. Fueling the human mission to Mars. Is the sound still working? Robert, you're still muted.
I don't think I am at the moment.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, and I found that piece in the video for when you're ready.
Okay, CO2. What have we got here? Propellant production. Because I guess they've got to make it to return back, haven't they? So they need to have some sort of fuel using the Martian environment. A biopropellant technology. Looks like there's a lot of reading there. Here we go. Lux monomer propellant combination to power the human crewed Mars ascent vehicle. So that one is different. That's different to the other ones. I'll post the link to that. Mars Space X rocket fuel. Well, rockets. Starship. So, does it have a combination though? I suppose the main stages would still be kerosene. Maybe the final end bit uses this other mixture for descending and lifting off on Mars, because that would make more sense then. But anyway, probably haven't got time to read through all that technical stuff there. There might be a documentary somewhere out there that breaks it down, makes it a lot easier to follow or understand it. Actually, there's not too much on that page. So, what did you want to say, Robert?
Yeah, I found that piece in the video if you want to take a look for yourself or listen.
Okay, have we got a link?
Yeah, of course. I'll leave it in the side chat now. Okay, let's copy it from the current time.
It's just catching up in the side chats.
Did I do that then? Did I do that then? Okay.
So if we're meant to have all this UFO technology, why are we still using kerosene and all that to get into space, right?
Because we haven't got it. I keep telling you, we ain't got it.
We ain't got UFO technology?
No. Can't even get out of our solar system.
Oh, you can, but it takes 20 years.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's not bad, though, if you go as a kid, like, cause you good, you know? And then it can bring you back to, you know, how old you were. Time stuff and all that, you know? Brilliant.
Yeah.
I believe Aussie good. Yeah, I've always believed him was great. And his blue chickens.
Finger looking
I love
good.
blue chickens. Yeah.
And blue eggs. Do they have blue yolk? Yeah. People believe anything, especially if their name's Linda Moulton Hill.
All right.
UFO classified. Bill Joker and Peter
I
Shall we?
captured the current time at 1 hour 44 minutes, so that's where you should be.
Okay, 1 hour 40. Starting at
1 hour
0.
44.
You should copy that with the timestamp on the end. So.
I did, and it didn't work. That's perfect.
Here that we're dealing with an investigation that took place over
Terrible audio.
a long time, many years, and the thing that attracted me to
He sounds like he's in a submarine or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's going to understand that. I got the volume down though, haven't I? No, not on this one.
Peter initially was the integrity that he had, the conviction that he told the original 88 experience about. But it was this 1992 experience that provided me initially with the idea that we could, for the first time, apply DNA forensic techniques to an actual claim of an alien abduction. Because most cases were only supported by things like hypnosis, that kind of thing. Very little in the way of compelling physical evidence. And so irrespective of all the claims about what might explain things, be it sleep paralysis or whatever, at least here we had a biological sample. Now, I said to Peter from the get-go that we could apply these DNA forensic techniques, but there was a hell of a risk for Peter. If the sample turned out to be prosaic,
Yay, fixed it.
he would have a lot of explaining to do, based on the personal front and more broadly. And Peter was always had the conviction to let's do it. You know, he wanted to know what the hell this was about. Now, I've got to be honest here. We really thought that the DNA would and the forensic techniques that we applied to it would be entirely prosaic. We weren't expecting anything remarkable, but we wanted an opportunity to apply these techniques to an extraordinary claim and see what happens. So, as always, we were led by the evidence where it led to. And remarkably, in Peter's case, we had a situation where the DNA more or less supported what he was saying. We ended up, this was a multi-phase investigation over years, and when we had funding, we were able to proceed at various paces. But first of all, we focused on the shaft of the hair to try and see what would emerge from that. And from that, we got this rare Asian Mongoloid DNA. Now, Mongoloid doesn't mean the condition; it means the ethnicity of the hair sample. That there was a rare Asian Mongoloid DNA profile present in that shaft of the hair, and that in itself, in turning up in a blonde hair sample, was quite remarkable, and it certainly excited the DNA researchers like Horace Drew, whose expertise in this area was on the worldwide stage quite well documented. And he worked in some of the leading DNA labs around the world, that kind of thing. And also, as I said earlier, was the co-author of a university-recommended textbook on understanding DNA. That was the title of the book, and required reading by university students. And with that was the main initial stage of the investigation. That result that there was a rare Asian Mongoloid DNA profile present in
the shaft. But we just checked that up before. Let's try DNA from shaft.
DNA, DBA, you got there.
I just hate
DNA
this
from
keyboard.
shaft of hair. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, possible. It's absolutely possible to get DNA from a sample here. They've used here from ancient Aboriginal remains.
There we go. What type of DNA is in a hair shaft?
It's called fragmented nuclear DNA. There's the prominent genetic material in human hair shafts. So that's different to what we did search before. So is that like a new technique, maybe?
Asian Mongol DNA. Sounds like
that's what they said about that Australian guy that claimed to have sex with aliens as well. The Australian one. Or was that the same one?
Really?
Yeah. Is it the same guy though? I don't know. What's his name?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I know that God, what's his name? Yeah, this Pete Coovey. I'm not sure if he's but the guy at the bottom there, Bill Chalker, he's definitely Australian. So it could be the same case, Paul.
Right, because it sounds like him, and everybody said that's because he was trying to cover up that he was having sex with a hooker that was, yeah. That had that sort of those DNA qualities, a lot of Middle Eastern. Australia has quite a mix of people over there.
And again, could it have been a cover story?
I don't know. So nuclear DNA and rootless here.
Couldn't they?
Okay, so what's it saying here? Shear shafts, particularly rootless ones, telogen here, are common exhibits found in crime scene. They can be deposited either normally or during shedding or by force. Written. Long before sequencing has emerged as a tool. Seems a very big font in that site. Well then, that makes it a bit harder to read here. Pieces of evidence, FBI here examines. Yeah, but here shaft analysis. Here structure, microscope. Species ID, maternal lineage. Short tandem repeats.
Paul, this is a bit over. Come on now.
Nuclear DNA.
I think we've established you can get something from the strand of the DNA.
Yeah, that's what they're saying here. The structure, the material lineage, otherwise Mongol. The nuclear DNA, which I'm not sure what gives us from that. Variant peptides, whatever that is. So yeah, they can tell basically your lineage is what they're saying there.
Yeah.
Parental stuff.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be a fingerprint DNA. You get that from the root, I guess. Pretty technical stuff there. I'll post a link to that one. It's never easy in this field, is it? To understand what these people are talking about, you have to study it. We need PhDs in all these different fields, don't we? And then we'll be super rich, because you better write lots of books then.
I don't know. Dan's saying then it was shown that the DNA was contamination. Oh well, I don't know. Let's let that video run and decide for ourselves. See what's going on.
Yeah. So we always got to fact check, though. This is what I'm trying to show you.
Oh
You
yeah,
always do fact check on what this guy's saying. He may be totally wrong.
yeah. You're not doing research otherwise.
Hair sample that appeared, but for all intents and purposes, physiologically, it appeared to be a blonde hair sample. And with Asian Mongoloid DNA, you would expect that the hair would have been black or quite dark. And this wasn't the case. So there was an initial anomaly. We also had the opportunity to do what's called CCR5 deletion factor testing, or testing of the nuclear DNA. That's when we verified the presence of this CCR5 deletion factor. That is quite a handy capacity to have. The donor of the hair sample, for some reason, appeared to have this attribute in their DNA, and that confers on people that have that an immunity to things like smallpox, AIDS, that kind of thing. So that in itself was a remarkable constellation of DNA results that we're getting. But years later, we were able to do further research with further funding to then focus on the root of the hair, because we wanted to keep that as our final stage, simply because we're only going to get one opportunity at this. We replicated the work done on the shaft of the hair. That confirmed the previous results. But then when we started examining the root of the hair, we got an entirely different profile, a consistent profile, which was different to the shaft of the hair. And when you look at it from a DNA biochemistry point of view, you realise that this shouldn't be the case. Wherever you take a sample from, be it the shaft, the root, blood, skin, that kind of thing, you should get consistent DNA profiles from the same sample. But in this case, we only had the hair, but we should get consistent DNA from the shaft and the root, and we weren't getting that. And the DNA chemists were really gobsmacked. What's going on here? This shouldn't be happening. And so to them, it was a really interesting kind of breakthrough result, and it seemed to imply that what we were dealing with was evidence of advanced cloning techniques. So this was kind of astonishing for us, and that's what became the focus of the totality of the investigation. It seemed to imply that, bizarrely, we had evidence here, and this is where probably the main part of the scientific problem is that we're only dealing with one sample. If we had hundreds of samples, unfortunately we don't have hundreds of samples, we had potential evidence supportive of what appeared to be a hybrid DNA. And so that's what we ended up sort of documenting and highlighting and publishing in Here of the Alien and in a number of reports. People can find out details via the book Here of the Alien or via my website, which I've called Alien DNA Paradigm. It summarises all the...
Buy the book. So, yeah, what's the Australian guy called now? I have done a live show on him, and I did actually go...
Hold on, you've got his name here. Paul Peter Cousy is making... He was the guy who claimed that he had this sexual intercourse, yeah? And the investigator that had the analysis done is Bill Chalker, so we don't need to go searching for who's who. We've got the names right there underneath.
Eh? 6 of
what are we doing?
Australia's wilderness cult claim. Here of the alien. Chalker again.
Yeah, that's the same case. It's obviously the same case.
Confessions of an alien
1992.
abductee. It was on My Mum Talks to Aliens, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Talks to aliens. Talks too much to aliens.
You'll need to get that right.
Aliens. It was on there where she interviews the guy.
Right.
So does it list his name there in the interview? We want all the cast. $10 still. $3 just to watch it. Damn. That's really expensive, I think.
I'm not even sure this is.
It's pretty old now. What year was it? 2012.
Okay.
It was quite good though. Yeah, where's all the cast members? Does it tell us here? Damn, it doesn't, does it?
No.
Oh look, there's 3 versions up. Wherever they work, I don't know. I think I got hit with a copyright claim when I tried to analyze it. Talks about 2010 here, so that 2012 is wrong on Amazon, unless it's been remastered.
All I know is the date of when this supposedly happened and the people involved, and I'm not seeing it in that search.
I think he was a Melbourne guy, wasn't it? Melbourne abductee. Let's see.
You're never going to find it like that.
Let's have a look.
You need to spell Melbourne right, There we go. Correct the spelling, Paul.
Yeah, I don't think they put enough information in the thing, do they?
No.
No. Casts.
See, that'll tell you directors and all that stuff, but it won't tell you the participants.
Sometimes it does. Details. No. I don't see cast. Unless I got it hidden. Technical specs. User reviews. Photos. Have they changed it somehow? Looks different. It's kind of annoying, really, isn't it? Just want to find the names of the people.
Yeah, but you must be looking for a different case then, Paul, because we know the names of the people involved in this one.
Yeah, I asked you whether it's the same guy in Australia that had the same DNA profile as what they're talking about there.
I'm not sure where you're coming from here at all.
Well, the Australian guy's hair sample come back to be Mongolian blonde hair. So it sounds like the same.
Apparently, the sample of the alien that came back like that, Paul.
Yeah, so it's the same hairs. I'm pretty sure it's the same case. agreed to enter Mary's world. That's her son. Talks about the son. Crew, writers. Where's the cast? Casts. Damn useless sites.
Yeah, you're flogging the dead horse.
Not sure you use the right keywords, maybe. I think I'd have to go back to my original episodes and find it. That might be actually in the description.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't be that hard to find. But it always is when we try to find it again.
I don't know why we just don't listen to the rest of that interview, and we might have a few more clues by the end of it.
Still main 6 alien. Mongolian DNA. See, that's got to narrow it down. Surely. Nope. I suppose you got to put a UFO in, maybe, because alien can mean foreign, can't it? Where does cult claim aliens sniff humans? Aliens like to sniff us. So what happened when humans met? Extraordinary encounters, alien DNA, physical experiences. Oh, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Come on, man. Let's get back to that video. Yeah, we've got Michael Cameron joining us from the UK. Thanks for turning up, Michael. Michael, hopefully in a couple of weeks he'll be on the show talking about his own abduction experiences.
Okay. Melbourne. I'm pretty sure he was Melbourne.
You're not going to find what you're looking for.
Creepy details, Bristol. UFOs in Australia. Six here sample. Oh well.
Different kinds of investigations that they've done of this case and of people's
And so
experience.
we'll talk a lot, and I've got some questions here in chat that I just want to address. And so Spaghetti Lee wanted me to ask you if you can tell us the genome type number.
That I don't have in front of me. You can go to my website. If you go to the Oz Files, that's the Oz Files, oz.com.au, you'll on the side
It's got to
there,
be
you'll
the
see a
same
direct
guy.
link to.
So Ozfiles is his website, so it's got to be the same guy on the other documentary that they sampled to his. It's got to be the same guy.
Leave this now and go looking for that. Do it at the end.
No. What was the guy's name you said?
Bill Chelker, his name's there.
I can't see it. Alright, Bill. But he's the investigator, isn't he? I'm looking for the guy that actually had the hair.
Yes, the guy who's actually had the hair is Peter Curry. You can see his name now. It's underneath the caption.
Yeah, I thought it would be down here in the blurb. So he's from South Wales. So maybe that's where I'm going
New
wrong.
South Wales, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Melbourne, but maybe it's New South Wales. So there's, yes, South Wales. I think it's known for a lot of hookers, with a lot of mix of different races from Norway, Holland, and African
Yeah,
and all
but
that sort of stuff.
hold on.
So
That still doesn't explain why the shaft of the hair was a different DNA to the roots of the hair.
unless the person that was handling it somehow got their DNA into the mix, which is what Dan was saying.
Contamination, possibly.
Yeah. So that's probably what happened. Maybe.
Alien DNA
Maybe.
paradigm, and that will give you all the data. One of the stipulations I had when I wrote Here of the Alien was that we must keep the full DNA report that Horace Drew and the other researchers contributed to in the book. We didn't want a dumbed down summary of the data. We wanted the full data. So all the DNA data is in the book and on the website. So you can have a look at that. But the key finding was that there was this rare Asian Mongoloid DNA profile in the shaft, but in the root of the hair sample there was this rare Basque Gaelic DNA profile as well. So we had this contradiction, what appears to support a hybrid type profile.
And that's, it's fascinating, and I've got, because I know that we're getting to show close, and there's so many questions that I have. My mind is just spinning. But
yeah, we're trying
to
to summarize decades of research here.
I know. Well, you'll have to come back, and I have to ask you. Peter, when you mentioned that you had gone to some of these support groups and things, who were some of the first people that approached you, and what was their mindset? Because for me here in America, when I've gone to different conferences, I've been approached by people that have been inserting things that I don't necessarily find are truthful with things, and it's been a very kind of a sketchy situation. And so, did you have anything where you felt you were being given misinformation or being put down a path that
Terrible
wasn't
audio.
necessarily in your best interest?
Luke.
Yeah, look, sure. A lot of people want to put their spin on everything, and I tend to not let that taint what I'm the way I think about this, what I do. But I just with the sleep paralysis thing, I know a lot of people who have sleep paralysis and have experiences, but I don't think sleep paralysis, you can produce a hair sample or two hairs that have results that what the test showed. After that, I was actually telling Bill that I was more than happy to take a truth serum that the military use, or lie detector test, polygraph. And we 2011 there was a show in Australia, and the producers had contacted me a number of times over 3 months, and
Yep.
So I'm thinking now, it's not likely to be contamination if it was two hairs, was it? How can they manage to contaminate two samples? This is a strange one. He's either, I still don't get this, I'd love to see those lab results checked out by an independent lab, I know it's expensive and everything else, but I mean, it's one hell of a story to take at face value, isn't it? Even if they have that lab evidence from one lab, it's got to be something. I mean, this is.
I don't think they can test it again. From what he was saying, he's saying once you did the root test, it's destroyed. Especially with our current technology of it, anyway. But they've only got two hairs. So yeah, I suppose it's a bit hard. They said if we had lots more samples.
There's no actual alien DNA. There's no DNA that we didn't recognise, is there?
No, they're saying it's human DNA from.
Yeah, so two sets of human DNA. and one person we shouldn't have had any real contact with. But
That's why they
yeah,
reckon this guy's lying.
mm,
Yeah, he just got it from a hooker from Sydney,
yeah, you wouldn't
which
even
is possible.
have to sleep with her. You just have to ask for a hair sample. It wouldn't have to be a hooker.
I think he was a kid at the time, wasn't he? In the parents' house that he got.
No, he was 28.
I don't know. I have to go back over it all. It's on my original documentary. But I thought he said he bit. I think he said he bit the tit off one of them and spat it out, or took a chunk out the tit and spat it out. So why didn't he collect the DNA from that?
Oh dear. Right. Okay.
I'd have to go back to the original because some people change their story over time, don't they? You have to go back and listen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe
It's not only that people,
maybe it was different when he
Yes.
was hypnotized. You know, he may have said more than it
regression,
than actually happened or something. I don't know. I'd have
There's
to go
two
back and
things
see
that can
more.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just say there's two things that can happen as a story progresses. Sometimes the person realizes they've gone a bit too far and then they leave that part out in later versions of events, or they embellish it a little bit when they probably realize that they need to add a bit more woo. So it's important to have the story from day one and compare it to what it's like today.
I'm pretty sure
This
he said
interview was on
he
yesterday.
bit the tit off the alien to stop
Okay,
her.
you never mentioned that bit. Never
Yeah,
mentioned
to
that
stop
bit.
her having sex with him, and there was blood in his mouth or something. He spat it out, so that would have been evidence. You see, I'm pretty sure that's what he said, but I am getting old with my memory, so I'd have to go back and check that old episode I did. I'll see if I can find it. But anyway, yeah. So that's it. May be information on that other documentary where he said that under hypnosis. Or it might be on a blog where people were talking about his story, what his claims were. I don't know. People were a bit suspicious of his whole story. He said that he.
Yeah.
Some people were saying he got caught out and didn't want to admit to his mother that he was having sex with hookers in the house or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and reread it all. And of course, then he got publicity out of it all.
But hold on, come on. If you get found out for doing something like that, what's the best thing you can come up with? Okay, man, sorry about that. I had someone in the bed. You know, it was female. I'm a man. That's what I do. But you don't make up a couple of aliens turning up. Come on. That's a terrible excuse. It's a good way of getting kicked out.
Like I said, I have to go back and reread it all. But
yeah, Dan says it sounds suspicious. I have to agree, it does sound suspicious, and yeah, I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, like he would refuse to have sex with an alien that's like super hot Nordic chick, you know. Would that really happen? I don't know. Would you go with the flow and still do it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I heard one story where the guy said that the thing was so like irresistible to him that it was resistance was futile, literally, you know. So, and Villas Boas said it wasn't a very nice experience for him. That's going back all the way to 1957. Oh, yeah, man, I don't know. But abduction stories, they are absurd, and you make of it what you want. Just because something's absurd doesn't mean to say it didn't happen.
Oh, no. But it would have been good if it come back with some DNA sequencing that didn't match human.
Yeah. I'll have to have a look at his website.
After all, human DNA is 50% match with banana. Look at some people in the ufology, and they are definitely bananas. And it's 98% with a chimpanzee, so doesn't say much for the humans. Strange world, strange life, a lot of strangeness.
Maybe Banana Man's not so far fetched after all.
Anyway, I should find that thing where it plays.
I just didn't want to be involved in the show. Eventually, I got a phone call from the head producer, and he said, "Look, if you really believe in this and you want to give it credibility, we think you should be involved because the show's not going anywhere." So I got involved, and they came and interviewed me. Bill was present, and then that was on a Saturday. And then on the Sunday, while I was just about to go walk into work, I received a call from one of who had a scientific background, who was involved in the show, and just out of the blue, he asked me, "Would you take a lie detector test?" And I instantly said yes. And then when they actually aired the footage on TV, I hadn't seen his reaction. He was like, "Wow." The guy didn't even take a breath, didn't think about it, didn't say, "I'll get back to you." "Yep, I'll do it. Let's go do it." And the only reason I did that, the only reason I jumped at that chance is because I had been wanting to do it for so long. And I remember Bill telling me it cost a couple of $1,000s, but we had the opportunity here to get it done, and the TV crew were going to pay for it. And the reason I chose to do it was because I thought it was 100% accurate. That's the only reason I took it. I sat the test, I passed it. Now, there was a big debate. Bill was completely against me taking it because he can see that there's no, you can't use it in a court of law. Police use it to sort of put people in a position where if they refuse to take a test, it sort of casts some doubt over their credibility. But I passed the test, and when the polygraph examiner actually said to the people involved in the show that Peter passed, with flying colours, he's telling the truth. And I was disappointed because the questions that they asked me through the polygraph were about my 1988 experience. Not one question was asked about the 92 two females and the DNA. And I actually, before he unhooked all the equipment off me, I said to him, "Are you going to ask me about my 1992 experience?" And he said to me, "Peter, if you're telling the truth about your 88 experience, then you're obviously telling the truth about 92. But I would have preferred to have been asked the questions about it just for my, for me, just for my thing." But I got involved in this because I had my own personal experience. And then over time, I started to realize there were millions of people around the world. So I actually started the first support group in Australia for abductees. And we started in April 1993, and it was called the UFO. It still exists now, and it's called the UFO Experience Support Association. And we set it up with the help of psychologists, psychiatrists, counsellors, hypnotherapists, doctors. We had a lot of support. It was unbelievable. And, people like Bud Hopkins, we did an interview with Bud Hopkins, and I actually asked Bud, would he think that, someone in my position who had an experience and I'm dealing with it myself, would I be effective running a support group? And he said, "You're probably in a better position than a lot of people because you can relate to them." Professor John Mack, he came out to Australia, and that he requested, a workshop support group. So I organised that, and it was really successful. But John interviewed me. He put me through one regression session, and he was pretty impressed with my story and credibility, and he appointed me the Australian representative for PEER, which is Program for Extraordinary Experience Research, based at Harvard. I recall also his partner, his assistant Dominic, he was having issues with some television station that were trying to take all his research, and they were threatening legal action and to shut him down and everything. All his African research and Australian research. And I remember Dominic saying to him, Peter's the only one you can trust. Give him all your information, and you know it'll be safe. He's not going to share it with anyone. And that's how it would have been. No one would have, to this day, no one would have seen it. And it was a real heartbreak for me, and a sad time when I got a phone call to inform me that my wife actually at the time called me, and she said to me, "You're not going to believe this. Professor Mack has been killed in England by a hit and run drunk driver." I rang up Dominique, and as soon as I said hello, the first thing she said was, "Oh my God, Peter, your voice brings back so many good memories. John's gone. And it devastated me. It still does to this day. John came out here just to investigate cases, and he became like a father figure to me. We become really close, and we spent a lot of time together, and I really appreciate that. But the field lost, a major player when he was taken, and I'm so sorry for that.
I remember, reading his work and Hopkins and Whitley Strieber and all of these people their work was so influential and shaped me a lot when I was growing up. And the more that I've looked into certain things, the more I have questions about their affiliations, where they were getting funding. I do know that Bigelow did fund several of these researchers, which concerns me greatly, given what I know about the depths to which this subject can be used to hurt people, manipulate people, and perhaps continue MK Ultra at some level. And so I've got to ask you, do you think that there was ever any chance, and Bill, I'm going to ask you this because you've been in this for so long, would there be any chance that some of this was actually weapons testing or using people
She likes
and
that,
their
doesn't she?
profiles to perhaps do something that was more
You can't help
nefarious?
it, can she?
Because I
No,
believe
she can't.
that has happened. So, and I'm not saying that is happening in your case, Peter, but I do have some questions about these people that have been involved in this for a long time. And let me turn on your
Bill?
mic.
And by it's a very complicated. It needs hours of discussion to really address that kind of topic appropriately. It's something you cannot do in a soundbite.
Look, funding is hard to come. Funding is hard to come by in this field. I think when someone offers some funding, people jump at that, not looking at the repercussions or the effects that could have, or what their
What the
agenda
hell?
might be.
What
And I
kind of
know,
system they use in there for their sound? It sounds like it's bringing up the PC speaker sometimes.
Yeah, it's not normally like that, but it was last night for some reason.
Was that
But
StreamYard
if you look in,
that using? She's using
oh,
StreamYard, isn't
StreamYard, yeah, StreamYard's normally immaculate,
No, not from what I've seen on the McGoofon show. All sorts of crazy stuff.
I don't know. That invited channel that I've been on a couple of times is.
This is a problem when you get two guys that want to be hands-free. I think that's where the problem is. This software is trying to...
Just check out this link, Paul. I'm looking for financial motive now. And maybe here it is, I don't know.
Well, like I said, I did actually look at lots of stuff on my episodes here. You can read.
Because it's too long.
Right, yeah. You might have to truncate it somehow, if you can.
Okay. Let me try it again, see if that works. It really
here's
shouldn't have done that.
here's a written story that I found somewhere. Talking about one was a Nordic woman, the other one was an Asian woman. Still sounds like hookers that you would pick up from Sydney, to tell the truth.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's just see where it goes.
No,
Obviously, I'm reading it out here.
Unfortunately, don't think there's any way I can truncate that. But either way, I can just tell you, Bill Chalkers wrote a book. It's available on Amazon, of course. It's called Hair the Alien.
Yeah.
DNA and other forensic evidence of alien abduction.
Oh, here you go.
It's 2005.
Here you go. It's
What
in
you got?
this bit on her nipple, apparently swallowing a piece from it.
Piece
So
of
that
it.
means she would have had blood samples somewhere. So why wasn't that submitted?
Yeah, then again, they dissipate fairly quickly, you know, if he didn't actually spit it out and keep it safely.
He must have bit really
I
hard on the
don't know.
nipple to bite it off, though.
Jesus, yeah. I don't know. It's getting a bit difficult.
So you're saying he doesn't bring that up anymore, that piece of information?
No, no way. I listened to his entire story last night and he's not mentioning that.
She didn't react, no pain. And any sign of blood, which is really strange. Why would you swallow it, though? When you want to vomit it back up again, straight after the event, I don't know. Just to collect the evidence, even. To prove that you weren't crazy.
Yeah, you might not have been thinking about that at the time, but I don't know.
Telepathic.
Too many questions.
If they're human-like, they're going to feel pain and they're going to have blood. So, see, that's part of the story is very iffy to me. Now, I think it might have been on Reddit. I come across people talking about hookers that he was covering up because he's meant to be from a really religious family or something, and he was a young guy at that time that was still a virgin, and he wanted to have some fun. But anyway, you can go and watch my episode on it. We look at patient 17 as well.
Yeah.
So this is why it's good to always have old episodes that you can go back on to. Unfortunately, this one hasn't got any chapters, which would have made it a lot better. Maybe I can find... Well, it's got topics here, so it breaks it down, but it doesn't have timestamps. And it could be broken up a bit better. 2 abduction cases, so that would be patient 15. Reference to Billy Meyer one. Lie detector tests. Oh yeah, the Billy Meyer lie detector tests are laughable. Why can't we film abductions? Can you block implants working? Skeptics pull apart patient 17 and the science and claims and video. Other abduction chat with Cupid, UFO Man. At the time I didn't know UFO Man was a fraud, and others trolled by security fan and our reply. So we got even trolled that night. And that one went on quite a long time. That we had a lot of people on that discussion. 4.5 hours. So go and check it out. It's a really old episode. Stream 19. That shows how old it is. And that was before they stuffed up Hangouts on here. You can actually read the font. I think it was like live stream 30 onwards that they stuffed up the encoding of Hangouts, and then I had to change to Minicam and other ways of streaming it. But anyway, go check it out. So yeah, I'm not sure if you should play much more of this one anyway. Looks like we've got a story here.
I think we're more or less done on that, you know.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to swallow, it really is. There's enough question marks there for me to put it in the grey basket at best.
Well, type his name in hookers and see if you can find that old information from our episodes. Well, I would have posted the links probably in the side chat, so go and have a watch of it and see what we can find out about it more. I was really suspicious of that one. Patient 17, that was Cool Bell's video that we analysed. And even Cool Bell questions some of the scientific techniques they were using that didn't actually really confirm it was alien implant, because the way they were doing it, they weren't using Faraday cage. The lights they were using could also stimulate material in the implant that they pulled out to make it create frequencies and all that sort of stuff. So go and check it out. It's quite an old one now, but it's still quite interesting. So yeah, you know how people say,
it was coming up in the site out there on Edica's show was night paralyses. We can talk about that a little bit if you like.
Yeah, I've not had it myself. Maybe once, but I was aware of it.
I was diagnosed with it in my early 20s. I had it from when I was about 13, 14.
But I didn't sense anyone in the room like everybody else claims and all that sort of stuff. But yeah. Basically, it's like a chemical blocker of the nerves, and
that's right.
If you want to move, you have to just relax a bit and just think, want to move. Eventually, it will free up. But I think it took me about 5 minutes before I could move, which is quite strange. That's the first time it ever happened to me.
Yeah.
And of course, there was nothing unusual, so I got up and had a pee and went back to bed again. You know.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I get it all the time. I get it maybe 10 times a week, because sometimes it'll happen 3-4 times in the night, you know.
Right.
How people can mistake that for abduction, I don't have a clue. But I recently came across a website, and it was called Night Paralyses, UFO Abductions, the Hat Man, Incubus and Succubus. I thought, what the hell? So I joined just for fun, as you do. And as soon as I got accepted, I put a question out. You know, as anybody that's seen any of these beings, aliens, succubus, incubus, etc., has it happened to them during the actual paralyses itself? And lots of them said yes. I don't understand that, you know, because it's never happened to me. But don't get me wrong, I have seen some in my dream on one occasion, which you know about, but I didn't have paralyses at that time. Now, Kevin Randall, who's never been keen on abductions, or I think he's a fantastic researcher, he says all UFO abduction events are like paralyses. That's bullshit. I don't think it's got anything to do with them. Yeah, it's nonsense.
No.
And lots of psychologists who've looked at abduction are all saying the same thing. This night paralysis, it's not. Night paralysis can be scary the first, second, third time it happens to you, because you don't know what it is. But once you realise what it is and you know how to get out with it, then, and I've never had that feeling of, I may have had the feeling that it's a little bit like someone's out for me, I don't know, kind of thing. But now once you've had it a few times, it just becomes a kind of run-of-the-mill thing. Then it's a real nuisance, because to get out of it you have to wake up, then you have to go back to sleep again. It's a real nuisance, but it's just like alien abduction. I think that's so unfair to
or paranormal.
Oh yeah, paranormal, of course, yeah. I mean, that has a big overlap with abduction, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I've been a little bit like critical of that guy tonight, and I've put a lot of question marks there. But and so is the side chat, and so have yourself. But alien abduction is a real thing. Just what exactly it is, I don't know.
Yes, that's why we've got to keep questioning things, right? And the problem is it's the frauds that make up these stories and evidence, and it turns out to be a lot of crock of shit, and it puts us in the wrong direction of figuring it out, right? But Yeah, Nordic. We've heard about Nordics before, but that stems way back to who was the first one to bring it up? Was it Adamski, or was it Maya? I think Maya copied other people, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I think any of those 1950s contactees you have to take with an enormous pinch of salt, really. They've all been proven beyond all reasonable doubt to be frauds, let's face it, yeah.
Yep. I think it probably stems back to maybe the Nazi Patsy, right? Hitler time of the Nordics, and they're trying to find the Aryan race. I think that's where it sort of stems back to, doesn't it?
Okay, you never know. It could be some part of popular culture.
Yeah, and think maybe the other ones have jumped on board, thinking, oh yeah, let's go with that.
It's a shame there's so many people living in the waters for others. It's a shame that there's so many people jumping on this abduction bandwagon, and it muddies the waters for all the others and makes them harder to believe. It's all a great shame, really, but there'll always be attention seekers, won't there? And people looking to profit as well. Let's face it. I mean, we don't know. Maybe Bill Chalker came to the conclusion that, these test results aren't really reliable, but now he's 2/3 of the way through his book and he's thinking this is going to be a nice little learner. I may as well just roll with it. And that's happened with far too many UFO researchers.
But they're saying that he passed the lie detector test, though, didn't he? But again, it depends what sort of questions you get asked.
Yeah, so many people have passed lie
like Travis Walton case, right? Depends what questions you get asked, whether you pass or not.
Yeah, you don't believe it. In that one, I'm kind of on the fence through the Travis one, especially the abduction side of it. It's caused so much hassle in the last 6 months. It's been unbelievable. I'm glad that's all died away now, and it's all kind of gone back to sleep for now.
But there are a lot of people having abduction stories, right? And there are 25% of those, I think it was, or something like that figure, occurs in front of other people, family members and stuff. So, how many thousands of accounts do ERT receive of abductions? Quite a lot.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, Paul. Paul, did you see that video that's come out recently? Right, they were. It was a couple, and I think one of them claimed that they'd been abducted on a regular basis. Right, and what we done? They put a camera on their bedroom. Have you seen that video? You must have.
Maybe.
Okay, do you want me to find it for you? I think I can. It shouldn't take too long.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
we're coming up to 2 hours. 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay, we
you
can do this.
Okay, we'll start looking through some more of these again then. While you go and search for it.
I need the weed.
We'll go through MUFON cases while we wait. Yeah, so what do we got in this one? Yeah, I've got a video. Hovering. Okay. What have we got? Oh, we got dots. I just love dots. No, I don't. I'm lying. Okay, so it could be anything really. Dots in the sky. Hovering. Could be insects. Most likely butterflies. Okay. Of course, there could be balloons that don't. Looks like the tree ain't moving much. Maybe there isn't a breeze. And I just don't like photos. Well, let's have a look at the video if it works. I don't know. It's doing something. Here we go. Is it going to do something? Black screen of death. That's not what we're going to play, is it? Come on, MUFON. I reckon this is 5 minutes, 6 minutes here. Now, this is a problem with MUFON. Instead of them creating a YouTube channel unlisted, I guess I could do it and then link to that, then have better. Not enough subscribers this month to play the video. So yeah, not sure what's going on there. So we can't look at it. Let's go to the next one. Another sky one. Did we look at that one before? Looks familiar. Portraits. Yeah, it's got to be little dots. Looks like he's snapping his screen as well, which makes it's not the original photograph then. What a dork. Okay, let's just keep on going. It's probably because he's using some sort of app to zoom it in, is he? A little dot up there. Probably a blackbird. Okay, keep on going. Could be birds. 3 of them. Let me zoom right in. Quite have bird shapes to them, don't they? The wings gliding on air currents. So, UFOs. There we go.
Yeah, I found that if you need it anyway.
I found what?
I found what you need.
You want us to have a look at something? Okay.
Yeah, come on, let's have a look at this piece of video.
Okay, you have to post it up. Where is it?
Yeah. I know. It's on Scott Brown's new little show, it is. And it's 7 minutes in. I have copied the current time, but because you move in HTTP out, it won't work. Let's go to 7 minutes.
It always modifies the link.
HTTPS, I'm sorry.
It always assumes that you want to go to your own channel.
Yeah, of course, pain in the bum. So yeah, if you go to about 7 minutes, maybe even a bit before that, so you get an explanation of it.
Okay. 7 minutes.
Yeah, go 6.5. There you go.
But it would be the same point.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's not where really anywhere else you can go with it. They're either going to tell us or
Is
they're
it
not.
red enough?
Right.
I don't think they're gonna. They're going to feed us guppy
It's not
food,
bad.
and that's it.
Guppy food. I like that.
I just made
too
that
low.
up. I just made that up.
Okay, so this second thing that we've been talking about, and I've made the statement before that I always tell people who are experiencers, abductees, contactees, get evidence. So there's one piece of footage that intrigues me. Out of the thousands of stories that have been told, this one piece of footage of this woman who, in 2010, she claimed that she had been being abducted. So her husband set up an infrared camera in the bedroom, and
Sure
during
enough,
the night,
she disappeared.
the sheet dropped to the mattress next to her husband, and she looks like she disappeared from the bed. 13 minutes later, the sheet rises again, and the woman is in the bed. So this is
But don't leave out the fact that she said she was gone for 5 hours, 3 hours, right?
no, that was an assumption that was made that I had read in another
Oh,
article.
okay.
But that's not it.
Okay,
It's
okay.
the investigation stated that she was gone for 13 minutes.
Okay.
So the camera runs the whole time.
Right,
13 minutes later, the sheet raises again, and she's back in the bed.
right.
Haven't seen it go down. Was that going down or what? No, it's movement. Looks like she's been in the back there, though, doesn't it?
No, that's her husband. That's her husband.
He's on top of her.
No. Oh, there she
No.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah, looked like it was a cut there, though. Was it? This is my imagination.
No, no.
Boom. Sheet goes down. Oh. But I think that's just a trick, isn't it? You could blow an air dryer. So it looks too high up here, unless she's a really big fat woman. Unless she's got a pot belly, you know what I mean?
It could be just someone's hip.
It doesn't look. It doesn't look right. The bed sheet.
Does it? No, it's a bit off.
You could blow a hairdryer in there because a lot of these night vision cameras don't have sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no sound on that. Now, if her leg was going up here and she was her arms going here, that's possible. If she was a large woman, I guess that would make sense.
It looks like somebody on this side to me.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Sticking up, yeah.
And then it suddenly goes down. Is this something there? Looks like an alien grey head there. Let's have a quick. Does that look like an alien grey head there?
Oh, I hope not.
Matrix and.
That's too pixelated, Paul. No way.
So you always got to. That almost looks like a Bigfoot to me there. Looks like a Bigfoot. Bigfoot alien. There's something on the bed there. What's that there? Okay, let's just keep on watching it. I'll zoom right in, see if anything changes there. Look.
Yeah, but you can't miss the main. You're gonna miss the main action.
Does that look like something moving there? A little alien grey head through the matrix and. So you could do that with time lapse though. You could pause the thing. But whether the clock was going down here throughout the whole thing. Was it added after? It's got to always be suspicious, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But I thought there was something here moving around. Although it's really poor quality.
Look at this though, it's quite spooky.
Yeah, it doesn't fit normal abductions though. If you look at other abduction cases, they always get lifted up in their pajamas or whatever.
Or
Go
at
through
least
the.
that's how they feel they've been taken.
No, sometimes they're awake or sort of can't move, and they're seeing themselves go through the ceiling or through the window.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah, but is then I don't know what state the body's in
we
then.
we actually saw the blanket go down slowly here. If it was suddenly went flat, you could say there was like they somehow locked up the camera while they were abducting and then released it again. You know, but like what I was saying with what happened with my audio recording,
It does
where
go
there's
flat, but you keep stopping it and moving and zooming in.
no, but if you go back and watch it again, you
Yeah,
see it goes
okay.
down
Just
slowly. See that? Now,
well,
what you
that's
could
fairly quick.
say is that aliens abducted it, and then the thing resumed recording. But since it goes down slowly, that's just weird. It's like part of the body's dissolving slowly out the other side of the mattress, right? Because it's got to go downwards. So something's not right there. Why can't we see her face? Why is it so bad? I don't know. It looks something's not right there. And they put that banner over. I was just trying to see if there's any movement in the background there. Pretty grainy. Low lights. But there's some movement there, or not. Kind of weird. Is it just noise, or is there some movement? It's a bit hard to tell, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What's going over there? So the husband's meant to be laying in bed next to her, right there, right? So is that meant to be the husband there?
Yeah, I'm not really sure now.
And that means that. Oh, what's going on there? See, that's really strange. That.
Yeah, now you need to back out, Paul, because we can't see what the hell's going on now.
That's her leg.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, we need
it's
to
a weird
focus
piece of
more on
video.
that last bit.
I can't explain it.
What's the heading on it?
Just
Okay,
good
leave that
position.
and go. Don't zoom in. Don't zoom in.
Relax. There's something strange happened there.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
The time down there is ticking away, isn't it? 47, 48. Damn, what happened there?
You put that over the. Oh Jesus!
Now what's that there? Something happened there. This is where you need someone like me to break it all down properly.
What you need to do, Paul, is let it run normally at its normal angle and break it down afterwards.
Oh, look, her hand's going up. So now I can see him.
Yeah, now you can see him.
Hang on, let's just go back. See, he's not there, is he? He's not there. Coming up now, I think. 40, here we go. That's him getting in.
What the hell?
Then it goes back down. What happened there? And then I can see an arm coming up here.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's now bending his ass upwards. What happened there? Some strange zooming happening. Her arms here. And now he's come here. There's his leg, right? And here's her foot coming up here. There's her arms.
Yeah,
now
looks
she's
like she's
bending
reaching
upwards.
out for the light lampshade. I don't know.
And there's his head now. But he wasn't near either. Both of them disappeared.
Yeah.
And there's her leg. She's a big lady.
Mm-hmm.
There's her thigh. She's a big lady. Why do aliens like big ladies for abduction? You see that quite common. Like they're not really super pretty or anything. What's happened here? Did I double click it by mistake here? Yeah, the whole video is suspicious to me. I think it was on Fact or Fate for this one, was it? Was it in UK? Was it?
Don't know.
Can't remember now.
I don't know. Cotton to Scotty says he can't debunk it, but
so there's definitely no one in the bed there.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would say that. But there was some movement.
So let's go back to the beginning again. In the field. Why isn't it going along? Here we go. To me, that only looks like one person there now. Let's see. And the person looks skinnier. There's no one here, alright? There's no one on this side. There's definitely a person, maybe a head there. And the leg going this way. Okay, let's just keep going. Yeah, so what's going on now? Looks like the leg being cocked up there, is it? And another leg going down this way. And the arm, the head. Now what's going on?
It looks like somebody turning over.
Yes, it does, but it only looks like one person. One person. Yeah, but how are they arranged here? Looks like it's more than the knee job there, isn't it? Looks like the leg here. So looks like he's pulled up his leg into an A shape, right? A shape. And then it deflates. Makes no sense whatsoever. But notice the background sort of was not right there. Something to do with the background. See how come the background's not as noisy now? See that? See it's not so noisy? Now... Yeah, we need probably the video which hasn't got a banner over the top of it. This looks like something happening down here in the darkness to me. Crawling on the ground, maybe.
Well, if it was fake, somebody'd have to be somewhere doing something.
Yeah, you got to think like a magician, right? How would you do the optical illusion?
How would you do it? Yeah.
So when he was
But you
cocking up his knee, how would you do that? Obviously, you got something behind the bed here. Maybe we need to see the room in daytime and see down this side here.
Well, I'd also like to know who the abductee is and do a little bit of background work on that person.
I think you probably could do it with a fake mattress, right? Where it looks like a mattress when it's actually got a hollow inner. And down here, where you can't see where the camera is filming.
Yeah.
That would be the way to do it.
Well, we're not actually seeing the mattress. We're always seeing is the quilt.
That's right, and it looks like a mess underneath when it's not. And it could be just them holding it up with their hands. And it's actually a hollow mattress here. See how it sort of dimples in here? It could be some sort of, like maybe two single mattresses, and they sort of pulled it apart to make it look like a king size or queen size bed. That could be how it's done. Two mattresses with a gap in the middle, and then when the investigators come around, put back the normal mattress and the other two beds into the spare room, you know, two single beds or whatever you normally have in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So now, so if there's a gap here, how would you simulate a person being there? Well, you probably practice it, wouldn't you? It looks like two hands coming up. Yeah, it looks like a hand there, see? Hand, and a hand here. And boom, the two hands went downwards here, right? Now it looks like a lump in the bed. And now they put two hands up again. And she snuck in at some stage. Okay, let's see. She got snuck in there. I reckon some magician could probably pull this off.
It's a good one, though. That's Hoax's Go. It's one of the better ones.
Yeah. Why would they do that? Did they get any money out of it? Publicity, attention
this
seeking?
Is what I'd like. That's what I'd like to look into.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Scott actually says where the video is from at the beginning before this actually starts.
Okay, so she's sneaking down the side here while he's holding it up. Okay, and then he goes boom. So what happened there? And then suddenly she's there.
And what's she reaching out to there?
I don't know. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
A radio
and then she gets up and then rotates. But do they go in the middle there? She's rotating. She's a big lass. Yeah, she's big.
Strange.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because she's so large. If she was like a skinny chick, you probably could pull it off. But how did she suddenly appear?
I know.
I'll figure it out. I'll go over and over hundreds of times, and eventually I'll figure out the sequence
well, that's
of
what you
it.
do.
Now it looks like there's something maybe happening there on this side of the camera. So he's doing that, but it might be something
Well, that's
happening over
not
here.
normal. That's like he's levitating, and then he's just being bounced back down.
Yeah, it's too high up, isn't it? It's like he's
way too high.
Like he's
It's
trying
like
to
the whole
cover.
body's off the mattress.
Yeah, I think it's the large chick going through here, though. Maybe. Let's just have a look. Then she shows up there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one, but it's really highly suspect.
As they all are.
Yeah. So we better wrap up, I guess, on that note. We had like 5 people on average joining us. A record! So what's the people down the side reckon? Edited for time purposes. Well, you could tell your friends in the pub.
Yeah, well, actually, I know Scott Brown, you see, and there's no way he would actually cut anything out that left any clues. He's not a hoaxer at 100%, Nick. Scott Brown is not a hoaxer. Or the other guy on there with him. They'd never hoax anything. In fact, quite the opposite. They're the ones involved with the debunking of Travis Walton.
Yeah, I'd say though Scott's a wee bit too open though when it comes to his own footage. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we can all say that. Yeah, it's about everyone, to be honest.
No. So he was interviewing the guys, was he? Paul in this one, was it? Scott.
Yeah, he's just Chapman's mate in this. She does seem a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a.
Yeah, she's a big lass. So you can't quite see their faces here. Which one's? There's Scott Brown there, isn't it?
That's Scott on the left.
That's Scott there with the glasses.
Yes.
A weird piece of video. I can't explain it.
What's the heading on it so people can watch it? Do you remember?
It's actually, I'm trying to find it on YouTube, but I can't. Oh. It's included in like this article.
Oh, I see.
That's from an English website.
Right.
That talks about the whole investigation.
Right.
So when people are abducted, they claim that they're teleported.
Right.
Which would make them disappear out of the room.
Right.
Some people say aliens come through the wall.
Right.
Some people say the whole room lights up. There's different scenarios with different people with abductions all around the world.
Yes, there are.
It's never a cookie cutter type
I thought it was on
situation
fact
where it's exactly the same.
I said those guys tried to duplicate it. Can't remember what they did now. Maybe they used 2 half sides of the bed themselves.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they said they had this head scratching how it was done. Doesn't mean it can't be done though. But again, because again,
but there's always that what? Hey, but wait there. There's always that 1%. It's real footage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Even though you can duplicate stuff, hoax stuff. Duplicate the hoax doesn't mean it was actually hoaxed. But
no.
Yeah, cookie cutter type of situation where it's exactly the same. Yeah, I don't know. She's a big lass. Why would they want a big lady? It's
Why not?
Strange.
Might be something completely different to
yeah.
to that they're looking for.
And maybe looking at the DNA, why some people are fatter than others. Maybe I don't know.
I don't think they look at for attractive individuals more than they do. I don't know, something in the DNA that might interest them, or Who knows? We were just
Yeah,
playing
but if
that
you listen to
guessing.
Billy Meyer and all that, they're all sort of super Nordic
Ugh.
ones.
Birmingham UFO group, okay.
And that's the question. Why haven't we got no sex tapes of Billy Meyer banging some Nordic chicks? What's wrong with that picture?
You can't say that when we just did.
Well, that's the thing. We've never seen Billy Meyer walking up to these Nordic chicks coming out of the UFO, right? So, and that would sort of... This is what the thing I put towards him, to Michael Horn. I said, we can solve Billy Meyer case right now. You say he's still in contact with the aliens? Right, just tell him that you're going to set up a tripod with a couple of 4K cameras on the scene, and have them walking up and greeting them as they come out of their sliding door or whatever, and give them a hug, and just put that up on your webpage. Forget about all the old crap videos that he's got. That alone would prove that he's telling the truth. And Michael Horn made every excuse under the sun that wouldn't happen. So, yeah, forget about that crap. Just nonsense. You gotta put up or shut up. If I claimed if I was in contact with aliens, I'd be damned somehow trying to capture them on real-time footage, I think what you got to do, though, if they can read your mind, then you got to try and take that mind out of the equation. So you got to tell a friend to set up a camera, but don't tell you where you put it, where it's hidden, and they might then change the position themselves a few times, or add an extra camera maybe, something they don't tell you. Then you might be able to capture them out, because the aliens don't know, because they can't read it in your mind, because someone else set it up that's completely void of the situation that was going to happen. That would sort of defeat that. But
yeah, well, anyway,
that,
I found the Birmingham UFO group, and found the video, so I posted that in the side chat. We won't go into that tonight.
No, the people
right,
if they want to.
In the footage, Paul, listen now. In the footage, the father is on the left and the mother on the right, sleeping under a duvet. So, in fact, the guy on the left is the big guy. That's the dad, right? The duvet on the mother's side is lifted up, but falls flat on the bed, giving the appearance that she has vanished. Mm-hmm. After 12.5 minutes time, the duvet again lifts up very high, and it settles. The mother is once again visible.
So it's a big guy on the left and a skinny woman on the
left. Yeah.
And a skinnier girl on the right. Okay.
Okay, then this is an interesting little part here at the end. The family were unable to extract the video files from the infrared camera, as it was not intended for this purpose. To get round this, they connected the camera to a monitor and then recorded the screen. The footage is believed to be genuine and not a deliberate hoax. The family sent this video to be analysed by the American television series Fact or Fake, to were right. They were unable to successfully recreate the footage without the use of hidden contraptions. Interesting.
But yeah, it was an actual source video. That's why it's so grainy and horrible. They're filming off a screen.
There you go. Now you know why.
Which means you can pause it too, doesn't it?
Well, so, now, and the timeline is continuous.
But they're playing back, and you're recording, so the recorder keeps on going, and you get to the stage where you want to simulate them disappearing, and then you suddenly pause the playback and switch to another channel where the bed is actually filmed with no one in it, and then you go back where people are climbing into the bed covers from the side of the bed, and just resume from that onwards. So yeah, it can be faked, right? That way.
Yeah.
Because it's not off the. We haven't got the source video. And did we actually get to see the source video? And fact or fact, I don't think we did.
Well, I've just put that up now in the side chat. It's only 2 minutes and 4 seconds long.
Yeah, but normally the professionals would redo this thing because they did it themselves, right? Apparently, converted it from the infrared tape to the digital format. You normally give it to the experts to redo it so you got the highest quality possible, 8K or whatever, and then analyze it.
But that's if it occurs again.
So you could easily fake that whole thing just using 2 sources, because it looks like it's VHS tape, right? And you'd have like a switch that switches between one playback device and the other. So you'd have 2 videos, then you record it on another one, and then bingo, there you go. You got a nice good fake. So anyway, I suppose you better get to sleep. Must be
Yeah.
Which an hour over there now, 3:30, same here in the afternoon. You want to wrap up anything here? Anyone on the side want to ask questions or chip in on this strange footage? He said he posted it here, the original.
Yeah, and it also actually tells you, if you want to look further into this, for a full analysis of this video, read the Drought Switch contact case report on the BUFOG website. I don't know who BUFOG are, but that wouldn't be too difficult to find. The information's there on the side chat if you want to take it further and have a look. Burn UFO group, only 122 subs. And I'll add one to that. See what else they've got.
So there's no sound on that video.
No sound. Yeah.
So she's meant to be there sleeping. Where's the guy? I can't see any big large guy next to her.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it?
Although it does look like a foot down here, is it? Could it be his foot down here?
Yeah, that looks like a foot that's, somebody lying on the back. Yeah, hold on, I think I can see a shape there. Yeah, and there's someone there, you know.
Okay, so she's turning.
She's got a backside in the air, basically, yeah.
And then she disappears, and that's where his foot is still.
Yeah.
Do those sheets look different colours as well? Looks like 2 different colour sheets.
I think that's just the reflection of a light source.
So we need to see down here, really. Now he's not moving. I can't see him breathing or anything. Can you see any breathing?
It might be hard to detect with that resolution, you know.
What's going on here? So could that be the guy laying on his stomach?
Or
Going
flat on
this
his
way.
back.
Or flat on his back, yeah.
And that would make more sense because that's his foot going up right at the.
Yeah.
Oh, then it could, even if he was on his
Yeah.
face, it could be his heel.
And she's gone for how many minutes?
Oh.
I didn't measure it. Now she's coming back.
But no, apparently she was gone for 13 minutes. So they've obviously cut some of this out. Because
I must
only
have.
got 2 minutes of footage.
Okay, now he's putting his arm up. Why, I don't know.
I think there's an alarm clock there with a digital display. You can't see it now because he's got in the way.
Alright, now he's moving his leg and bending it.
Well, I don't know if it's an alarm clock, alarm radio, something like that.
Now she's back in the bed.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. It looks like an alarm radio.
So he's coming off his back, bending around.
Yeah, that would make sense because if she suddenly veers out back in bed, he would get a bit of a shock, couldn't he?
Is he in shorts there or on the nud?
Naked, I think.
No, she's back there. I still think it could be a magic trick.
It's a good one, though.
And of course, it was filmed off a screen, so it means they could pause it and keep the original recording, but splice two different videos together where she's with him and when she's not. He's definitely moving there. I just saw movement then.
Okay.
He was definitely there. After she's gone. They must have made some money from this video, surely. It must be on lots of TV shows.
Obviously, we don't have the time to do it now, but I'm going to look into it.
Now let's just see if the light seems to be constant there. No, so she's there. Certainly a weird one, but it doesn't mean it couldn't be faked. Be a damn shame if it was faked.
Yeah.
But that is a strange abduction, though, isn't it?
I think we'll keep an open mind on that one, Paul.
Yeah.
So far.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've spent enough time on that, though.
Yeah.
So I think we better say good night. Until we see you again next weekend. Oh, right, next weekend's I got my jab, haven't I? We might be starting a wee bit earlier.
Yeah.
I have to get up earlier because I gotta go for a jab in the afternoon, which would be way past the time now for my jab. So I have to keep it on next week's time. Start earlier and maybe finish within 2 hours. So let's see how we go.
Which will be the shortest ever for us.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it.
Enough time to bore you all to death.
Yeah, and take care on the roads, of course. And watch out for aliens and abductions. And did it start up? And I think I need to go to the toilet. I'll dash off.
Okay, Paul.
Got to end it.